desires on a world of cage. But despite all the rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage.
Testing. Bob.
Hello.
All right, say testing, please.
Testing.
All right. 1 second. We're going to check the YouTube page right now, see if the video's running. All right, let's see. I'm going to refresh it. All right, everybody. Welcome to Give Me One Moment.
I didn't know that's what the name of this channel was. I thought it was the real FUTV.
The real Futv, right? All right, give me 1 second, people. It's real loud here in the city today. It's really loud. All right, so we're coming off of the big fight, big card actually. Chicken a la chicken. Or what is it? Turkey a la chicken? Turkey a la chic? All right, we've come to the end of that card. It had some questionable fights on there. Pretty good stacked card. Andy Ruiz breaking his hand. Rios winning. Like, don't really agree with the decision in that fight. I think it was a draw. I scored it as a draw. If you guys watched our live play-by-play, I have it scored as a draw. And then we had the main event right before we had to be forced to watch Eminem sing about spaghetti. How many times do we have to hear that trash song? It's fucking annoying, isn't it, Bob?
We've heard it too many times.
You heard it way too many times. That thing's like, what, 20 years old or something? It's ridiculous. You got to keep torturing us with that fucking song? All right, so this was our scorecard for the main event on Saturday. A lot of people wouldn't agree with it. Here it is.
They would be wrong.
Yes, you'd be wrong. Wait, give me a second. There's something going on here on my side. Just let me lock some of these layers I got here. I don't want to start pulling. I don't want to start fucking stuff up in the show. I have some layers.
Did you have to use profanity?
Sorry, I don't want to start messing things up in the show. Is that all right?
Yes.
What happens when they make messing things up a curse word?
Who is they?
You know, the people that control language or something. They're gonna say it's
Speaking
wrong.
of which, do you know that
it's like the word retard? You know, it used to be okay, now it's wrong. All right, a lot of people would say this is wrong. Bob, you were a little not generous in this one, huh?
I was exactly as generous as I should be.
I just realized you gave Madrimov the entire fight.
Because Terrence Crawford ain't shit.
The thing is that I thought Terrence Crawford was he was throwing a lot of illegal strikes in there, a lot of backhands. That's the one thing, really. Backhands, a couple of low blows and a rapid punch. I think I actually when we did the stream, I said that I could have given Terrence Crawford at the most 4 rounds. I didn't give him the other rounds because he was being controlled and he was landing in spurts. But his opponent, who's the champion, is pressing him back the entire time. Basically, it was a lead hand battle all throughout the entire fight, and it was one that Terrence Crawford was losing. He was getting pushed back the entire fight, and he was getting hit with the cleaner, harder, more effective punches, I thought. They were pushing him back the entire time. And it's not just what I thought, it's what was real. Crawford was throwing like these arm punches, a lot of little arm punches, while his opponent was, it's kind of a technique where you kind of parry down the lead jab, and you also at the same time, you step in with it. It allows you to load up like your... In his stance, to be a straight right hand. So Terrence Crawford was very hesitant to throw punches the entire fight. pretty much. He was being controlled basically all night long. Maybe one round Israel gave him like a little space, and then here you go. All right, so give me 1 second, people. I want to make sure that this is the audio and everything's working on YouTube, and we'll go into our presentation. All right. All right, so I mean, I wouldn't say Terrence Crawford didn't lose any rounds. Obviously, I think he won about 2 rounds. I said 2. Like, these were rounds were more clear-cut rounds. Even the last round, even the 12th, it went kind of back and forth. But I think Terrence landed the cleaner, more effective punches. He actually went for it for the first time in the fight, really, in the 12th, which really tells you what was going on. But he was doing this while he was getting pushed back. So it's not like, he was a dominant beast who came forward and just beat the shit out of Israel. He didn't.
Would you like to know why I didn't give him any?
Why?
Because even in the 12th round, where he was arguably at his best in the entire fight, he only really showed up to the match in like the last minute or minute and a half, and even then was still fighting in a very dishonest and, cheap kind of way. So, sorry, I don't care that Madrimov has 10 fights. He brought the fight every single round, basically, and Terrence Crawford had nothing to answer it with. So I don't think he deserves charitability, generosity, benefits of the doubt. I think that you earn every round, and he didn't.
I mean, he did okay. He definitely didn't do enough to win this fight. This was a robbery. This is a complete robbery because Terrence Crawford was getting pushed back by the champion the entire fight, right? This is, how they're always telling us that you got to beat the champion. This is what Terrence Crawford didn't do. He definitely did not beat the champion. Once again, at the most, I saw him win maybe 4 rounds, and that's if I'm being generous. Because if he actually did, if there was no question, I would have given him those rounds, right? Those other 2 rounds. And maybe if you're really, 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 really generous, you could give him 5 rounds.
But why should you be generous?
But why should you be generous? He's supposed to be...
Why should you, the viewer, you, the judge, you, the anybody, right? Why should you be bending yourself into pretzels and doing the intellectual gymnastics required of some adherents of a certain political party to make it make sense? Why? It should be a clear and decisive round.
Yes, exactly.
And it wasn't. None of them were.
They weren't. They really weren't.
Well, that's not true. They were decisively not deserved.
Give me 1 second. Sorry, people. I'm just setting up my video screen. All right, so we're gonna look at some of the stuff that's come out after the fight. But before we do that, we're gonna give Israel, not the country, the guy, Madrimov, his flowers. He deserves them, doesn't he, Bob?
I think so.
Everybody said
And
that this guy was going to get knocked the F out, not Futv people, and not anyone who actually knows the sport, who actually studies it and cares about the outcome. Maybe all the fanboys in the media that wants to build Terrence Crawford up so he can be sacrificed to Canelo.
Rapeseed oil is a
big
type
payday,
of oil derived
payday.
from the rapeseed plant. It has been associated
You're trying to get him
with
that
health
big payday.
problems in
Why?
animals,
Why does he
such
need
as
that big
this
payday, huh,
whole
Eminem?
rigmarole.
Why do you like him so
And
much?
It's
Why don't you tell us that one day?
And it's good for you, huh? It's very
Okay.
It's just fraudulent, is what it is.
I was taking it all in.
Were you taking it all in,
All
huh,
right, so here we
Eminem?
go. This is
All right.
rapeseed oil, Bob.
What is it, Bob?
If you can.
Rapeseed oil is a type of oil
No
derived
comment.
from the rapeseed
All right, so I gotta
plant.
go.
It
I
has
gotta
been
look for this
associated with
clip, but
health
before I get
problems
to
in
the clip,
animals, such as
to get
do
the
this
information
whole
about all the shit, the
rigmarole.
narrative that's going around that
And
Terrence Crawford.
it's-
Oh, he's got his next
This
title.
is
Well, how did he get
fraudulent.
a
It's good
title
for you, huh? It's very
without
good.
winning a
It's
fight?
just fraudulent, is what it is.
Right? He didn't win the fight, people. They're saying
All right,
this
so
was
here we go.
ultra
This is,
competitive. No, it
rapeseed
wasn't.
oil,
They're
Bob,
saying
with
he
that.
edged it. The only thing he
Rapeseed oil is
edged
a
was
type of
Eminem,
oil
people.
derived from the rapeseed
That was the only
plant.
thing he
It has been
edged.
associated with
Right,
health
Showbiz?
problems in animals, such as do this whole rigmarole.
There he is.
And
It's totally
it's
sustainable.
fraudulent.
It's good for you.
it's just fraudulent, is what it is.
All right, so here we go. This is rapeseed oil.
All right, sorry about that, people.
That's terrifying.
That was a bit scary. I don't know. He does some interesting faces. It can be funny. It can be funny, but I don't understand why he does it. It's really effing weird, isn't it? All right, people. So there's some stuff that's going around after the fight. Terrence Crawford could see big payday, bigger challenge in super fight with Canelo Alvarez. it's like, I keep saying it, like, why are they pushing for this guy to fight Canelo? He's obviously too small, and he's not skilled enough, people. He's really not. He showed his skill level on Saturday. He fought a guy who only has 10 pro fights, and everyone was swearing up and down that this guy is like one of the most talented boxers in the history of the sport. How could you tell me that if he just fought a guy who had 10 fights and the guy I thought the guy was piecing him up. I mean, I did accept maybe. I mean, look, if they really want to save face for this guy, they really should have just said he's old. That would have been the best excuse, I think. But no, they didn't. They've created this false narrative, and now they're trying to have him fight Canelo Alvarez. And look, if this guy can't load his gloves versus Canelo and juice the fuck up, he's gonna get knocked out. He's gonna be laying down on his face in that fight. No way in hell is he gonna beat Canelo. Not only is he not big enough, but he doesn't have the skills to do it. He doesn't have the skills for it. Maybe if he puts some actual, like he's able to put bricks in his gloves, he can land one lucky punch. But I mean, look, Canelo, I know obviously it's not the same Canelo from like 10 years ago, or the guy that fought Triple G in the first fight. But you know, Canelo got a chin. He's known for that. I think Bud Crawford would just be knocked out in that fight within the first 3 rounds. Really, if it happened. I don't care how much steroids Bud Crawford takes. I don't think it's going to work. All right, so here's some more, ESPN. Here's why Canelo versus Crawford just took a body blow. So, it's kind of killed. The narrative is dying out, sort of. But most of the sources I've seen are just praising this guy, saying, oh, wow, look, he's won another title. Even though everybody said that he was going to blow this guy out, right? Terrence Crawford addresses Canelo rumors, looking at what's next for Bud. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's disgusting. You lose. You basically get pushed back the entire fight by the champion, and they just give you the fucking fight. Why? Because you landed a couple of flurries of punches, a big rabbit punch, a couple of low blows. I mean, it was not a great performance. It was not. Really was not. All right, Bob, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, even the night of, it was just this like complete cognitive dissonance of like, oh my God, he was so great. We're gonna see Crawford Canelo, and Turki Al Sheikh was saying that even before the fight started.
Exactly.
So you knew that there was some shenanigans afoot, and quite frankly and unfortunately, Madrimov needed to actually put him on the canvas,
yes,
knock him out. Like, we have entered an era where you cannot trust the judges. If you want to actually have your fight, you have to knock your opponent out. And I don't think it should be that way, but that is clearly where we are. Because time after time we find ourselves here where a robbery has been perpetrated because nobody was KO'd. Or stopped.
But that's really what he had to do. He had to knock this guy out because they were going to rob him. Just like Bob said, the Turkey came out into the ring right before the fight, and he basically showed his favoritism. He showed who he wants to win. So what do you think's going to happen? I mean, everybody was kissing his ass the entire time. Every fucking person in this broadcast was basically like getting on their knees and just praising him.
Because his family has a habit of killing people who don't agree with them.
But then when he comes out and he says, hey, the next fight is Canelo, he's already said who's won the fight right there. And I said it during the broadcast. I said that this guy's going to get robbed. All right, let's see that right now. Let's see Turkey come out and you're being a turkey, man. You really are. You're really being a turkey, right?
So just so we're clear, so everyone understands, you've already sent an offer to Canelo to fight Terrence Crawford if Terrence Crawford wins tonight.
But if he doesn't, I want Ortiz.
You want Ortiz? Virgil Ortiz versus Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
So just so we're clear, so everyone understands, you've already sent an offer to Canelo to fight Terrence Crawford.
All right, so there it is. He said it. He said that's the fight he wants. He wants it. He likes it, and he wants it. What do you think's gonna happen, people? He's just waiting for Canelo's response. He's not gonna take the fight from Bud. He's just not. It's not gonna happen. Now Canelo has not responded yet, right? And that was in the middle of this fight. So maybe he'll say, well, Canelo will respond later on. This guy was picked to win this fight. Bud Crawford was going to win this, regardless of anything, even if he got knocked out. And they were showing some favoritism. They really were.
And it's also kind of disappointing for it. Like, it's one thing if it's a behind the scenes like discreet dealings. Like it's bad then, but at least it's discreet and it's more open to conjecture. This was so blatant. And you did say it during the stream the night of. You
Yes.
said, "Oh, okay. Now we know what's going to happen. Like
He's
we
gonna
know
get
the
robbed.
outcome."
He's gonna get
And
robbed.
if Madrimov didn't knock him out, well, we saw what happened.
Yes.
And it's enough to make you want to stop watching the sport.
It was pretty bad. It wasn't the worst. I mean, the worst I ever saw was Andre Ward. That was the biggest robbery I've ever seen. Andre Ward versus Kovalev. All right, so give me 1 second. I'm looking for the next clip. Okay, so they already had picked Bud. He was knighted, right? Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah,
He was chosen. He was the chosen one. It didn't matter if he didn't get knocked out. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of favoritism here that happened in the fight. Give me one moment.
Yeah, Bud had one job. Don't
Yes.
get knocked out. He accomplished that job. And you know,
That's all he needed. We're going
But
to
there
show.
were a couple moments where it looked like he was a little bit wobbled.
He was wobbled multiple times in the fight. We're gonna look at some of the fight right now, real quick. We're gonna look at some of the fight throughout the entire telecast. All right. So here we go.
So, I like the offense of patience. It's tricky, man. Tough rounds to score, but I like Madrimov so far, bud.
You get hurt with it? Did you get hurt with it? What, with the punch?
Did he forget
I
what
like the
sport he's
offense of
repping?
patience.
Now
It's
look,
tricky, man. Tough
look.
rounds.
The reason why I zoomed into that is because of maybe a possible clash of heads, right? That's why I did it. But when do you ever see a ref stop the action like this after he's just struck a fighter with a left hook? Look, I'll tell you. Look, I zoom in, right? The moment to break this is when the strike happens. So look, he comes in with his head. He might have touched him with it. There's no cut or anything. Watch.
I like the offense of patience. It's tricky, man. Tough rounds to score, but I like the offense of patience. It's
All right, he should have already stopped it. If he was concerned, he should have stopped it.
Yeah.
Why does he wait till he lands his hook in order to stop it? And like I said a second ago, in this round, Israel had struck him about 4 to 5 times with hard strikes before this moment. And then the ref steps in randomly and says, "Stop, stop." Like, really? He's just supposed to be looking at him. What the fuck?
tricky, man. Stop. I like the offense of patience.
All right.
It's tricky, man. Tough rounds to score, but I like Madrimov so far.
All right, so that mouse was there for rounds before this, people. They're acting like that fucking whatever happened there caused that mouse. It wasn't. It was left hooks. Bud Crawford was eating left hooks all night long. All right, so there's one moment there where it looks like they gave him a little bit of a breather, the 6th round. But there was some other really weird stuff happening in this fight, and it gives me the impression that Madrimov was possibly drained in this fight. I saw him doing a lot, stretching his arms out a lot very early in the fight. I'm talking about like 2 rounds in. 2 rounds into the fight, he's already stretching his arms out like they're fatigued. And he even had his coach was massaging him in the corner, massaging his neck in the 2nd round. That's extremely odd, people. Very, very odd. And it just, to me, it screams of dehydration. Give me 1 second while I look for this clip. So, first of all, I'm going to show you this from his previous fight, one fight before Bud Crawford. All right. This is one fight. This is the 2nd round. In one fight before. What does it say there, Bob? Kurbanov?
Kurbanov, yeah.
So Kurbanov, this was Nav versus Mav. They should have advertised it as that, right? Mav versus
missed
Nav.
opportunity.
It is a missed opportunity. What
they
the
should,
fuck?
They should reach out to you for the
Mav
marketing
versus
in
Nav.
future.
The big one. The big one. All right, so here you got Madrimov sitting in the corner, 2nd round, nothing wrong, totally fine.
This is a match.
Look at him, no nervousness, looks totally fine, comfortable. And also, you got to keep in mind, Bud Crawford was landing like nothing in the first 2 rounds of this fight, so there was no reason for Israel to be fucked up, you know, any kind of tired, fatigue, any of that.
Top corner. Joel Diaz leading it. Made that move.
All right, so you go, totally fine, relaxed, ready to get into the next round. I'm going to show you what he looks like in the Crawford fight in the 2nd round.
What's up, Thunderdome?
Give me 1 second while I find this clip. I didn't actually...
I will
Yeah,
give
what's
you no
up, Thunderdome?
seconds.
All right, give me... What?
No seconds for you.
All right, Bob, so what do you think of what I'm saying here? Is it stupid?
It's not. And I think it's important to think about this in a linear and cohesive way, right? So we see that there's chicanery with the way that the ref is reffing. We see that the person who is currently injecting millions, if not tens of millions, if not perhaps ultimately hundreds of millions of dollars into the sport, has made a selection before the fight even starts. So now we also have to think about the condition of both fighters. Bud came in looking as he kind of always does, like a animated Skeletor. But
He wasn't. I wouldn't say he was very animated. I think he was very stilted in this fight.
But you know, he's like, that's just what he looks like. But there did seem to be a condition difference between Madrimov's prior fight and this current fight.
Yes. I'm going to show you right now. Give me 1 second, people. I'm looking for the point. Sorry, I did not save this moment. I should have saved the clip. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you right now.
Straight to prison.
Yeah, I know. I did a lot of preparation.
Straight
but
to jail.
This is just the way it works, people.
Someone come get him.
Okay.
Directly to prison.
Well, this is the way it effing works. So get over it, okay?
Well,
Get over it.
Excuse me. Where's that sass coming from?
Game easy. I'm easy money.
All right, that's Canelo talking about Crawford. I'm kidding. That was way before the Crawford fight. But I mean, it is relevant. Give me 1 second. I'm looking for the point in the fight where. Which round is this, Bob?
It was early. It was like the second round or something.
I'm looking for the corner. Give me 1 second, people. I'm gonna show it right now. Okay, here we go. Nope, no fights right now. All right, so we're gonna see him in the corner. Hopefully, we can see it because this looks a little zoomed in.
Yeah.
It looks very zoomed in. This
We're looking
isn't
directly
this
at his
is not
ear.
this is not the clip I looked at earlier. Hopefully we can see what happened. So you see he grabbed him by the head, right? You say he's massaging him. People, what round is this, Bob? This is round number 2.
Yeah.
He's trying to wake this guy up in the second round.
And his eyes look very sunken
He's
in.
compromised, people. He was compromised.
But
He's
like,
in the-
look at his face here versus what we just saw, right?
Yep.
He looks like he's aged about
Look how he's
15
rubbing
years.
and rubbing the back of his head. He's just trying to get blood in there and all that. Like, come on. You don't see this. Look, it's what is this? Let's check. Give me 1 second. We're gonna see. I'm pretty sure that was the second round. All right, come on already.
Thunderdome, we just showed that right before you hopped in the chat. We showed where the ref stops it and asks if he's okay because he got punched.
Yeah, we showed that.
So yeah.
All right, so I don't even know what round it is. Sorry, people. I'm pretty sure that is the second round. That's when I remember it happening. There's a better. Actually, the entire fight is on YouTube. Somebody posted it, and they don't have it all zoomed in like this.
I think the channel is called YS Menace.
I don't know what it is.
That's it right there. Scroll up.
Is that it? Is that the one we just looked at?
Scroll up.
This
that one? Yep.
All right, I'm gonna check this clip. Give me 1 second. This looks like. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go back to the second round. All right, where we're doing fucking play-by-play people. We're doing. This is the what would you call this, Bob?
This is the post-mortem.
Yeah, this is the post-fight. This post-mortem, exactly. But remember to subscribe to the Real Food TV. It is the greatest channel known to man. It truly is a effing knockout. You see, I didn't say the F word, did I?
Well done,
right, Bob?
sir.
All right, so we're right now we're going into the second round. We're gonna watch an actual clear view of the corner, and this is I'm pretty sure it's round number 2. We're gonna double check, but here we are. Round number 2. I can go deep into it, but they're gonna pull our stream if I do.
But you also saw throughout the fight that Madrimov kept shaking out his arms and shaking out his hands.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. And this was early in the fight, very early. Just simply holding up his hands. He was, like Bob said, shaking his arms out like lactic acid, fatigue, you know? You stretch. Like there was some things going on. I also saw some problems with Bud Crawford as well in the beginning of the fight. I pointed it out. He was completely bone dry. Right, Bob?
Why do you need to warm up if you know you're going to win?
He was bone dry.
His single job in this fight was not to get knocked out.
Okay, well, I understand, but
they didn't even need to sell it, man.
Well,
like they didn't sell it.
All right, so the reason why he was bone dry that I found out after the fight is because supposedly his gloves broke in the back room. Isn't that kind of amazing, Bob? The same fighter, his gloves just keep breaking.
He must have the most powerful hands. The gloves just cannot withstand the force.
Yeah, the guy's just so fucking powerful, isn't he? Extremely powerful.
As we said on the night of, I mean,
Muhammad
Ali
amazing,
didn't have
you know?
exploding gloves. Mike Tyson didn't have exploding gloves.
Yeah, no one has exploding gloves
doesn't
except
have
for
exploding gloves.
Yes,
but Terrence Crawford.
2 different brands of gloves, and they both tear. You know how hard it is to break boxing gloves, people? It's not something you really can do unless you really, really want to do it. You have to. It has to be intentional. You don't just throw punches and your gloves break like this. You see that glove there? Bob, you know that they create that with one continuous stitch, right? Mm-hmm. They take a stitch and they go through the whole glove. You see the line there? In order to do that, what's doing there, either the actual leather of the glove has to break, which it's literally built to not break. These gloves are built very sturdy. And you have to imagine that he's in a fight that's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. One of maybe the number one thing they don't want to happen is for these gloves to break. And so how is it that the same guy, his gloves just keep on breaking? From what I heard, he's doing pad work in the back and his gloves broke.
Is it possible his gloves are made by Boeing?
What do you mean?
Never mind. That was a joke about how everything Boeing builds breaks, including, the spaceship.
Okay, you got to talk a little louder. I can barely hear Bob. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right, just give me 1 second. I have some of the information about these broken gloves. Just want to see if I pull up the right page. Is that it, Bob? Looking at?
Yes.
Okay, so we have the story right here. Give 1 second. That's a bell. That's definitely not the right thing. Do you think you can read any of this, or do I have to zoom in?
You're gonna have to make that bigger.
I'm gonna have to zoom that in. Give me 1 second.
I've got good eyesight. It's not that good.
Yeah, we're looking at it through a screen that's across the room. Yeah, I got screens all over the place, people. It's like the Matrix. You ever saw the Matrix and that dude's in that room filled with screens? It's just like that. I'm kidding. That'd be very expensive. All right, so
I mean, I can read that.
Yeah, I'm gonna zoom it. I'm gonna zoom it in. I'm gonna highlight it. You see this part here that says Mike Coppinger.
Coppinger.
What?
Coppinger.
I got Coppinger. Can you read that?
Yes. Would you like me to?
Okay, read it, please.
Terrence Crawford objected to the grant gloves worn by Israel Madrimov, sources told ESPN. When the California Commission approved the gloves, Crawford elected to wear the same ones. They split at the seams a few minutes after Bud began working the pads, delaying his warm-up.
All right, so this is the reason why Bud Crawford was bone dry when he came in the ring. When I noticed it right away. I'm like, hey, Bob, do you see how his body's completely, flat? Like, you can see it was flat. His muscles were not even inflated.
He had no pump.
He looked flat, completely flat, and he didn't have a bomb. He didn't have a bomb,
This would have been a time for that Arnold Schwarzenegger clip.
What? He didn't have a bomb. No Diddy. No Diddy at all. Whoa, wait. Get out of here, Diddy. Get the fuck out of here. What?
Hey, BDA.
Fucking Diddy's in here again. I said no Diddy. Yeah.
Diddy did not respect your lack of consent.
He didn't. He doesn't really care about consent. He just takes it. Boots Ennis knows all about that, right, Boots? You know it's true, Boots.
He looks like a platypus.
He does. I mean, I don't know what he was. Get out of here, Diddy. Come on. Boots.
I was taking it all in.
She was taking it all in, wasn't he? He really was.
I love that you found an image of Diddy wearing a Canadian tuxedo.
It's like, I think that's got to be from the 90s. He's got the whole fucking jean jacket.
More than likely.
Outfit.
It was him, Justin Timberlake, and Britney Spears all wearing the solid denim ensembles.
Oh, yeah. He's wearing that. Denim was big in the 90s, wasn't it? All right, so what the hell was I doing? I don't even remember what the fuck I was doing.
Well, we had just talked about the condition of Madrimov, and we had now moved on to the gloves exploding.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We know how it is. All right, so we got some more stuff over here. This has to do with the Avanesian fight. Whoop, sorry. Got to fix this.
Too big there.
Yep.
Bucko.
Sorry, people. I'm fixing this.
How dare you?
All right, Bob.
You're not forgiven.
Bob.
Terrence Crawford has been cleared of any wrongdoing in regards to the undefeated welterweight champion's glove malfunction during his 6th-round knockout win over David Avanesian on Saturday in Omaha, Nebraska. Everlast, instead, took responsibility for the failure, saying the issue was... Well, that's a typo over there.
Yes.
Saying the issue was due to a batch of defective leather.
I mean,
you'd think that Everlast might have a good QA process.
People. This guy is not even a fucking star. He never has been. His biggest win was Earl Spence. So why the fuck is everybody bending the whole fucking world to fit him? Maybe because they're bending him over. That's why. That's why.
But who would want to do that?
I don't know, man.
I mean, there are more attractive gentlemen.
I have no idea, but for a guy to get this much special treatment, and he's really not a star, not even Floyd Mayweather got away with this kind of shit. I don't think he did. He got to inject his hands, but did he load his fucking gloves? Look, his fucking gloves blow up, and Everlast comes out, I'm assuming they have probably billions of dollars, and they're going to risk their reputation to save this guy's? Who the fuck does this guy know?
To be perfectly fair, my love, Megan Thee Stallion has a career. So at this point, all bets are off. They
right.
could just make anybody famous.
All right, so gloves are obviously not made to last. You know that, people. It's just a fact. It's just a fucking fact. You're intended to punch heavy bags with them and punch things with them, but you know, you hit some mitts really. I mean, Crawford probably hits the mitts really, really, really hard, right? All right,
Harder than anybody ever.
It says, okay, it says this is the lifespan of your average glove. It says between 1 and 3 years. The lifespan of boxing gloves depends on how often and how intensely you use them, as well as the quality and material of the gloves. Look, people, what kind of gloves, what do you think they do when you have a pro-level boxing fight worth millions and millions, possibly hundreds of millions of dollars? You think they're not going to make sure that these gloves are durable? What do you think, Bob? You think they're going to give you some gloves? This fight is generating hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're going to give you some fucking Amazon.com $10 gloves? Like, how are you pitting mitts?
Maybe that's the secret, that Bud gets his gloves from Wish.com.
It says that heavy bag gloves may wear quicker, but you got to keep in mind, you don't punch a human's face like a heavy bag, right? That would be really bad for them, right? A heavy bag is going to be a lot heavier than someone's fucking head.
Yeah, Thunderdome, I'm pretty sure that they were hoping that this would never make it to the light of day, that the fact that apparently Crawford has such power, their gloves explode on contact. But, you know, the internet does what it does.
Yes, there's a lot of information about gloves, people. The gloves are built to be beat on. Your gloves are built to be beat on for years. Look at this, Bob.
I'm not an expert, but I do believe 2 years is longer than one fight.
Yeah, dude, this guy literally took these gloves out of the bag. He took them right out the fucking bag and hit the mitts with them. Obviously, he did something before these gloves broke, right? Now, and also, they're two different brands. One of them were Grant's, and the other ones, and then there's these. You know, one's was Everlast, and the others are Grant. So what's going on here? How is this?
Do we know if Grant has made any sort of official statement about this?
No, I haven't checked to see if they made a statement, but I'm pretty sure they're probably going to say that's fucking bullshit. That'll come out later, and they'll probably brush it right under the rug, because Turkey gets what Turkey wants. But Canelo wants $150 million to fight Bud Crawford. I guess, you know, I mean, that's surprising to me. I think Canelo, I don't know. I think that's a little too much. That's way more than too much. They won't generate that, so the fight's never going to happen. And that's not to say that Canelo couldn't lay this guy out in 2 seconds, because I think Bud Crawford goes 2 rounds with Canelo. He's going to Amir Khan him, basically. All right?
Looking quickly, I don't see an official statement from Grant. I mean, anybody in the comments could also look, but I don't see anything.
All right, so read that. What's on the screen, Bob, if you can see it.
To answer the question quickly, heavy bag boxing gloves will last you for at least 2 years. When you feel that your punches are clunky and don't connect well, it's time for a new pair.
All right, so there you go. Same thing. I found tons of information about the average boxing glove. And people, you got to keep in mind, these aren't super high quality boxing gloves. These are just like the average boxing glove. You know, just as long as you're not sliding blades across your boxing gloves, they're built to be beat on. That's what they're made for.
And also, typically, when you're stitching leather, you'll either use a very heavy
heavy stitch,
or you're using a very heavyweight synthetic.
I've done a lot of leather work, and these are not regular needles that go through these gloves. These are very, very thick. The threads, or what do you call it? The threads. Yeah, the threading on those things is ridiculously strong. Like, you can't even rip it with your hands. Oh. If you wrap like a leather stitch around your hands and hold it really hard, you'll literally cut your own hands open. These stitches do not break very easily. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And they're also waxed. Like, that's an important
ridiculous.
factor.
Leather stitches are crazy.
In order for the thread to go through the leather and not become weaker due to friction, you wax those threads first. So they have like multiple layers of protection. And if it's a synthetic fiber, then you have the power of plastic, which will stretch but not break.
But exactly. I've done a lot of leather work. These are not easy. You cannot break this shit.
Thunderdome, apparently the seams came apart, is what they're saying.
Oh, the glove itself. The glove itself was broken.
We don't know in more depth. Like, I don't believe, like, were there pictures available, Fu?
There's a picture.
From the Madrimov fight.
I think there's like 2 pictures out there.
But they're saying that what happened was the gloves came apart, which at the seams, which is extremely suspect.
Oh man, it's so suspect. It's ridiculous. These gloves are constructed Usually when you do this kind of work, it's one thread and it goes across the whole thing.
Yeah.
It goes across. You're
Fu and
not.
I actually know quite a lot about textiles and leather work.
Yes, the way it's done.
whatnot.
These aren't a joke, people. These are built to be beat on.
And as
They're
you can
built for
see in the image that Fu is about to show you, there are 2 lines of stitching there.
This is from the what's his name?
Is that from the Avanesian
This is from
fight?
the Avanesian fight. You see this? Yes. Dude, there's so many weird things with this fucking guy. This guy they need to have a criminal investigation into this because they allowed this guy to fight Avanesian in the ring with these gloves. These gloves could have literally destroyed his eyes. This could have lacerated his face. This could have lacerated his neck. I saw him land an uppercut with the side of that glove. Look at that fucking glove. Talk about lacing.
But
they talk about lacing. You know what that shit would do to you if that scratched you across your face?
what that
It'd give
looks
a massive
like
gash.
actually is a delamination of the leather,
Oh, that I don't. He's doing.
which would suggest
that
that
shit
this
looks
is
like
not a full grain.
To me, you know what it looks like? It looks like he's sticking something underneath there. Actually, I think he might actually have loaded wraps. That's really the thing. But I'll show you something in a second. Look at this. This is some of the weirdest shit I've ever seen. Give me 1 second while I find this.
But what I meant was, are there any pictures of the gloves that exploded before the Madrimov fight?
I don't know. I saw that there's a picture of a glove and it has a tear in it, and it looks like it's done by stress. It's not. Well, actually, when you look at the Avanesian fight, you can literally see the stitches are out.
Yeah.
It looks like some of the stitches are out inside of the glove.
That's actually
why would it start there out of all places?
That's an important thing to show because you can see that it's not even a single line of stitches. It's a double line of stitches. So that would mean that 2 completely different sets of stitches would have had to fail more than one time. There's Occam's razor, right? Where the explanation that requires the least amount of contortions is most likely to be the correct explanation.
Yes.
And I feel like with Bud Crawford, the least convoluted explanation is that he's cheating.
Exactly. And we're not the only people that see this. There's a lot of people that see this. You want to read some of these comments, Bob?
Sure.
If you can see them.
I'm not going to read the names of the poster, but I'm going to just say...
you don't have to read the people's names.
And I'm going to correct their grammar where I catch it.
Okay, you don't have to.
Has anybody ever seen this happen to anybody else's gloves? Serious question. I've been watching boxing for almost 30 years, and I can't recall one time I saw someone's gloves fall apart in half a fight.
Exactly.
Next comment. Bro, it happened twice in the same place. How can you say he's not cheating? He should have not been allowed to fight. Following comment. We aren't going to talk about how
Ain't's okay.
I refuse. We aren't going to talk about how that fight flopped and only sold 15,000.
Yes.
Following comment.
No, but he's a big star, bro. Everlast is going to risk everything to help this motherfucker out, right?
If this was Canelo, people would be saying he cheated.
Exactly.
If this was Canelo, he would have cheated. Following comment.
If Canelo did that shit, he wouldn't hear the end of it. He wouldn't hear the
We're
fucking
still making
end.
fun of him for his special tacos.
Maybe he didn't want to give up the buns, man. That's what it is.
Final comment. I'm not saying Bud cheated. I'm saying that the referee and commissioners should have paused the fight until the gloves were replaced. I mean, at the very most charitable you could possibly be, that final comment is correct. Like, the fight should not have been allowed to continue.
No, it shouldn't have.
With compromised gloves.
But
I've seen fights paused when a piece of tape from the wrist wrap is flapping in the wind.
Exactly,
But you're going to allow this person to continue punching another person at full force, ostensibly in or around the face, with part of the glove ripped off?
You know, David Avanesian came out after the fight, his fight with Bud Crawford, and he says this guy has never knocked anyone out in any fight with one punch. And he did it in his fight. He believes that Crawford actually loaded his gloves, that there was something in them. And when you watch that knockout in that fight, it's ridiculous.
I mean, perhaps Bud Crawford is the most unknown, undiscovered, ultimate power puncher in the history of the sport. I mean, do we need to take him to one of those county fairs and have him punch that thingy that shows completely inflated punch pressure? Pounds per inch?
All right, I'm going to show you something very weird right now that I noticed after the Avanesian fight. Just give me one moment while I find this. I thought I had it listed in here.
Correct, Thunderdome. I do refuse. He cannot make me read things that are not even English.
Oh,
You.
what's wrong with that?
No.
Say it with the bad grammar. I enjoy it. All right, people. While I'm looking for this clip, I want you guys to watch this movie. This is a good movie. I'm trying to get you guys onto these great films. You guys are missing out on all the good stuff. You know that? All right. While I'm looking for this clip, let's watch this clip. Watch.
Killing. The maiming. The Agent Orange and Napalm. The torture cages. They were the easy part of combat shock.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Decorated war hero, ex-prisoner of war. But when he returned home, nothing had prepared him for the nightmare that would follow. Combat shock.
What do you want, a broken arm? Yeah, let's break his arm.
He found society had turned against him. His job was gone.
Doesn't look any better, St. Frankie. There's nothing here for you. They want experience. You don't have the skill.
The chemical warfare that had poisoned Vietnam was now poisoning his family.
Hey, just shut up. You knew what it was like out there. You knew what you were exposed to. You didn't tell me.
His childhood friend had become a desperate junkie. And the sweet little girl next door was being forced to sell her body in the gutter.
Hey, miss, do you want a date?
That's no way to behave.
Combat shock.
What the
Frankie
fuck?
tried to stand up to the scum.
You have any idea what you're doing to that kid? Hey, get the fuck out of here, man. Hey, you leave my wife out of this.
But he found that life in the streets was more treacherous than the jungles of Vietnam.
Oh, stuff my ass.
Shut up, bitch. What are you doing with this girl?
What are you trying to do, Mike? Then your crimes on me?
Combat shock. It followed him everywhere.
You know it's not that hard to make napalm.
Combat shock. Was it a nightmare or a reality? The battlefield may have changed, but the war was still on. Combat shock. More action than Rambo.
That's a bold
More
claim.
terror than the Terminator.
I love you.
Pissing off Stallone, Schwarzenegger, just shitting on everybody, huh?
Gut-wrenching violence than
Hoffman?
Commando.
Yeah, BDA. It's a crime. This hasn't had its Oscar.
Explosive film you'll never forget. Combat shock.
All right, people. So there's a deep film that probably should have won an Oscar at some point.
And now for something completely different.
Did you know that people actually tried to sue them because of the claims they made about more violence than Rambo? They made all those false claims. Because that movie actually has almost no violence in it at all. Actually, I guess it has sort of weird violence, but weird violence. There's almost nothing in it. All the stuff you saw there is a bunch of stock footage that they put in there. And they have in the very beginning, they have I guess you call it Vietnam. It looks like some place in Jersey, like a park, and they run around and you see these smoke grenades. And that's about all the big action in that film. But I like the parts what was it? Little Betty sells her body in the ghetto. What was that? In the gutter?
She sells her body in the gutter.
She sells her body in the gutter.
But that's not even part of the movie. I feel like they just took all of the editing and all of the story ideas that they were thinking about putting in the film and then made it the trailer. And then the film has nothing to do with any of it.
It actually, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of you guys, if you ever play video games, I have a game called PT. They call it the playable
PT is
teaser
good.
for Silent Hill.
PT is good, but very annoying.
It has a very dreamlike state. It actually reminds me sort of like
Jacob's Ladder.
Like Jacob's Ladder. That
But
movie
Jacob's Ladder-
that movie is like really like gritty.
Jacob's
but
Ladder is amazing.
That's made by Trauma Films. That's the same guys that made
Jacob's Ladder was not made by
No,
Trauma.
the Combat
Oh.
Shock was made by the same guys that made what's the name? Toxic Avenger. If you guys have ever seen that, that's something to watch. It's those are some funny movies. I haven't seen them since I was a kid, but I might go back and watch them. But before we before we get back into talking about Trauma Films, there's some weird stuff about Terrence Crawford's gloves. But we're gonna be getting back to the actual fight that happened, the robbery, because there was a robbery, people.
We just had to take a weird side quest to Vietnam briefly.
We have to do it. We have to. Okay, so here we go.
Never quit.
All right, so here's Terrence Crawford over here doing the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life. What is this, a Rocky movie? You know, in the Rocky movies, the dudes would come back, like, it'll be like 6 hours, but, it's like 5 minutes. Like, so you came out of the fucking ring and you're still wearing your damn wraps? Here's another first, people. Here's another fucking first. Not only does this guy have, like, these amazingly giant, huge hands, even though when they're outside of the gloves, they're small. He's got little tiny hands. But, he breaks gloves. His hands are just so fucking big. But so like I said, not only is he the first boxer in the history of the sport who has exploding gloves, but he also is one of I think the only boxer I've ever seen who comes to a post-fight press conference with his wraps still on. Wouldn't that be uncomfortable, Bob, fighting,
I imagine
being in the
so.
ring, you're in the back, you're warming up, you're wearing these fucking annoying wraps that are probably ridiculously hot. And then you go into the back room and have a whole press conference. You know what that makes me think? That makes me think there's something in those fucking wraps that he doesn't want anyone else to get a hold of.
He needed more time to figure out how to dispose of them.
Yeah, he doesn't want to take them off. He's just holding them close to his chest. And by chest, I mean he has them wrapped around his fucking arm,
won't take
around
them
his
off.
hands, of like who knows how much tape. All right, so he is at the press conference to see these interesting wraps. I think if anything, that's where his power is coming from, or whatever's happening with his gloves has something to do with these wraps, I think, possibly.
There's some interesting comments in the chat on YouTube that should be addressed, and it's that people are saying that if you talk about the wraps and you talk about the gloves, that you're being a hater and, it's disrespectful.
Wait, is someone joking? Are they joking?
Probably. I mean, it's probably somebody just trolling. Not Thunderdome or BDA, but the person who said that to Thunderdome on his stream. But here's the deal. If you like this sport, then you should absolutely rip that guy a new asshole for sullying the sport, for endangering other fighters, and for being, generally speaking, a piece of shit. So, honestly...
So was someone in Thunderdome's room? Is that where it was? Somebody went in Thunderdome's and said something?
Because,
this is just common for these people on the internet. There's a lot of fucking fanboys, and when you point out reality, right? They don't like reality. No. Come on, look, people. They told us that this guy's gloves blew up while hitting the mitts. Now we're gonna look after this. This is some of the weirdest shit I've ever seen. I've never seen a fighter ever come to a post-fight press conference wearing his fucking wraps. The first thing a fighter usually does when it's the end of the fight is a guy takes out some fucking scissors and they cut those right off. Most fighters don't want to wear those things after the fight's over. Your hands, you know how uncomfortable that is to have these fucking, just the gloves by themselves is hot enough. And then you're going to have these wraps with loads and loads of tape. And this guy, from what I've seen, he actually wraps tape around it and then gauze and then tape. So that's probably extra hot in there. And he just keeps them on the whole fucking time. And there's actually pictures of him in the back after this, still wearing these fucking wraps. What do you do? Go home with them and take a fucking shower with them on?
He probably had to get them off. He probably had to melt whatever plaster of Paris shenanigans were in there, impregnated into that gauze to get them off his hands.
Yeah, he cut that shit off and he threw it into like a pit of fire or something. That's where they went.
But this is yet another instance where there's shenanigans afoot with the gloves and the wraps. Because there was that other fight, I don't remember which one, where his teammate, his whomever, pulls the gloves off his hands and immediately drops to a knee and turns away from the camera.
Yes, we noticed that. Because, when I saw that Spence fight, I understand that Spence was drained, but I've seen a lot of fights where fighters are drained. Like, you watch the Canelo versus Angulo fight, right? Angulo's getting his face all fucked up. I think Angulo was real big, and I think he was drained. That's why he barely threw punches. And then if you look at, like, Canelo versus, who's the other guy? Chavez Jr.? I mean, Canelo was beating the fuck out of him, and his face didn't look nothing like Earl Spence's face. Like that's what I'm like I'm saying. Like I'm looking at these punches that this guy's throwing. I'm like, what the fuck are those rocks? He's hitting this guy with jabs, and his head is just blam. And like I said, I've seen lots of dehydrated fighters get punched, and the effects of the punches never look like Crawford's punches.
I would say we check the tapes, but
And it's
we can't
inconsistent.
because he's still wearing them.
And it's really inconsistent because some fights he can't even knock out Amir Khan, and then the next fight he's just destroying, Earl Spence. Brooke was drained too, but I mean, why is this guy punching so fucking hard? And then we're seeing his gloves exploding. I mean, it really asks a question. I mean, dude, it's kind of obvious, and you guys just saw the comments. This is what everyone's thinking, that there's something going on. Like he's loading these fucking things. I think he's got a lot of special treatment, isn't he, Bob?
He is, and I cannot for the life of me understand why. I'm very curious.
It's full Diddy, man. It's full Diddy.
I don't even think that would be worth all that much to anyone. I mean, look at him.
They like the brown meat, man. They like the dark meat. What do they say? The darker, the darker the meat, the sweeter the
darker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
The sweeter
is the
the
phrase.
juice. Right, Boots? Wait, where's Boots? That's a scorecard. What the fuck? My timing's, it's ruined. The show's ruined.
You just
I fucking ruined
that
it.
all
I
up.
fucking
You should
ruined
stop
everything.
the stream right now and go hang your head in shame.
I should. But no Diddy, bro. No Diddy. Oh, there's Diddy.
They all look shady
What's up,
over
Diddy?
there. They
What's
all
he
look like a bunch of shady assholes.
Doesn't he?
Are.
Yeah, doesn't he look like a fucking creeper?
He is a creeper.
He just walked
He
away,
is
sort
what
of
it
like
says
South
on the
Park,
tin.
right? That's very South Park.
That was
of him.
very South Park.
It was.
Are you
it
proud
was.
of yourself?
I am proud of
You
myself,
should be.
but I have to look for another clip. This clip is actually.
What have I told you about labeling your clips?
I know,
and
people.
creating
I'm sorry.
An
I'm sorry. I
organizational
keep fucking up. We have a clip here from the fight. I'm going to show you
Saints
guys.
preserve us.
Yes. This is a clip from the fight. Terrence Crawford definitely never cheats. He would never cheat. Never. It just wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. Never. Oh, wrong thing. Wait. What the fuck is going on?
I don't know.
All right, give me 1 second. A lot of things are happening right now. I hear things. Okay, so this is a clip. Actually, this is a clip from the Terrence Crawford fight. All right, we're going to go full screen for this. It's important.
You literally just became that meme that there's too many windows open in your browser and you don't know where the music's coming from. Congratulations.
All right. Okay. He's always got to cheat. He's always got to fucking cheat, right? He can't just use his fists. He's got to hit you with something all the time, right, Bob?
Yes.
All right. Look, that's not the right clip actually. This is the actual clip. This is a real clip. All right. So he's always got to hit you with something, anything but his fucking gloves. But yeah, actually, people, even though the media's created like this false narrative where they're saying that, this is like kind of a dominant performance, he edged it. It seems like most people who know boxing, obviously I got to set it up that way so you guys go more towards the way I see it, right? If you do not think that Madrimov won this fight, you're a fucking idiot. What are you, stupid? What are you, dumb?
Oh my goodness, wait. BDA Boxing is saying that Bomac snuck a pistol into the UK.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
That's hilarious.
I mean, he's American, so he probably
could have just gone to Belfast.
I mean, people look.
There's more pistols than potatoes over there.
He's American. He probably walks around with a gun all the time. He's also a hood piece of trash. And I'm not saying anything about hood people because I'm actually a hood person. Sorry,
Since
right, Bob?
when?
I am.
Like, actually.
Dude, come on.
Yeah,
I'm not that kind of hood. I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what. Don't say that.
Are you trying to LARP as a hoodlum?
I'm not a hoodlum.
Exactly.
But I am. But you know where I'm from. You know where I'm from, bro. You know where I'm from.
I would hope I know where you're from.
Yeah, you know.
It would be very bizarre if I didn't.
Yeah, you know. You have no idea what it was like. All right, so we're going to be watching a couple of clips of, all these people that know for a fact that Crawford definitely dominated this fight. And the Canelo fight should 100% be next. I mean, Canelo better take that money.
Cheater versus cheater.
Turkey will get him, man. Turkey will get him. But actually, before we get into that, I was supposed to show this other clip. I'm not gonna fuck this up, people. Don't worry. All right,
I feel
so
like you've now condemned yourself to fuck it up in some capacity.
I got street cred, people. Don't let her talk shit about me. She knows where I'm from. All right, people. You're gonna see this guy over here. He's never ever broken a pair of gloves. Isn't that kind of odd? Oh, what the fuck just happened?
Oh boy, you did. See, I told you. You said I'm not gonna fuck it up, and what'd you do?
Why did you? You're messing me up because you're talking trash.
I can't help it.
Talking some shit now, bro. All right, this guy's never broken a pair of gloves. Let's see this. I mean, obviously, because he doesn't punch as hard as Terrence Crawford does.
So hard and so even when he left.
Power. God-given nature, whatever you believe in, he's got it. He's a strong individual. But he throws his punches with snap. He snaps his shoulder. He has good form. So the power comes from his whole body. You know, his legs, yes, his legs give him good power.
That would be interesting. Someone should interview Mike Tyson
that
about the exploding gloves.
Yeah.
Which is important ingredients. And you can have a
This is actually light training for him. I want to show the pad work. We're going to show some of his big pad work here. I mean, bro, it looks just like Bud Crawford, right? No difference.
Definitely.
Actually, Bud Crawford trains just a little bit harder and just hits at least... I mean, Bud Crawford probably hits at least 10 times harder than this
Bud
guy.
Crawford can definitely tell Mike Tyson that he hits like a sissy.
Yeah, he does. Obviously, he's never broken a pair of gloves like Beast
I
Crawford.
feel like, are you even punch, bro?
What I have to do to prepare. I'm just gonna try to take this very serious. It's like I've been beating up a lot of guys, and I'm gonna take myself serious. And
Sharp on the pads, working with trainer Freddie Roach. The old hangers-on and sycophants have gone. What of the bankrupt?
So obviously he doesn't hit as hard as Terrence Crawford. We're going to show that right now. We're going to show how... I'm going to show you guys the proper way to break a pair of gloves. Like literally break them. Right, Bob?
Correct.
All right, so I'm looking for my clip I have over here. Some mitt work from the Beast himself.
How could those gloves possibly withstand the barrage?
You know,
The power, the story.
The power is just... you can't even measure this amount of power, man. You can't.
Man, come on. Sometimes that's too good. Sometimes folks don't deserve it.
So this is the exercise they said he was doing when the gloves broke. They said he was punching the mitts.
Was his camp like hard up for cash and they had to use like wish.com?
I think
Did they get his gloves off Temu? Is that what happened?
I think he was wearing like paper mache gloves. Like I said, it's fucking ridiculous. What the fuck did you do to those gloves, Crawford?
They went to like the sports section in Walmart and got like Kitty's first boxing gloves. That's what they did.
Exactly. That's what he was wearing. He's wearing some fucking paper gloves. Yeah, there you go. This guy trains hardcore people, hardcore training there. This is just what
look at his raps in those training videos. They do not look anything like the raps that he was sporting in the post-fight interview, which is unhinged in its own right.
And that was just showing the mitt work. You see Mike Tyson hit the heavy bag when he's younger. It's ridiculous. And he's not breaking his gloves ever. This guy, the gloves just fall apart when he puts them on. It's a big load of shit. He really is. Really is a load of shit. But, you know, despite all my rage, I don't have millions and millions of subscribers as I should.
A crime.
Remember to subscribe to Futv. And by Futv, I mean the real Futv.
It might help if you got the name of your own channel right.
I mean, I got to say it that way because it's more memorable if I say it wrong. Right? Right? Showbiz. Right, showbiz. You know what he reminds me of? Has anyone ever seen Total Recall? Remember when they fall off out into outer space? This guy is funny. He does some funny faces. I made this earlier. It's kind of funny.
I was wondering why, you know, as I was working, I kept hearing what sounded like one of those like goat compilation videos of the screaming goats.
He sounds like a little bit like
and
a
then
bird.
I turned around and it was that gentleman and in fact not a goat, and I was extremely confused.
He reminds me a lot of that Total Recall scene. Like the eyes, the way they bulge out like that. They really... Can you ask anybody in the comments if they see it? Because I see it for sure. Give the people the L. Give them the L. I'm going to get that clip while we're watching our next video. For sure. I mean, people, remember. It's an obvious that Terrence Crawford was dominant. It was a dominant win. All three judges. They couldn't even give Israel a draw. Not even a fucking draw. Right? What is it, Bob?
I'm still chuckling at that video.
All right. All right, so we're going to watch some of these clips from Israel's trainer here. He used to be Tim Bradley's old trainer, and he is very, very angry.
As he fucking should be, to be fair.
He should be, yeah, exactly. See if I make this louder.
I don't think the 12th round was the definition of the win or lose for the fight. He was controlling the whole fight. Actually, he was walking 80% of the time. He was the one walking down Crawford, and every time he threw the right hand, he landed the hook. I mean, he wasn't throwing he wasn't using a big.
We're gonna go back a little bit because my desktop audio was very low. I'm gonna play it again.
What was your advice to Israel in the 12th round? Because if you won that round, it would have been a majority draw.
I don't think the 12th round was the definition of the win or lose for the fight. He was controlling the whole fight. Actually, he was walking 80% of the time. He was the one walking down Crawford, and every time he threw the right hand, he landed the hook. I mean, he wasn't throwing he wasn't using a big volume of punches, but every time he threw, he landed great shots on Crawford.
What was your advice to Israel in the 12th round? Because if you
All right, so that's the same way I see it. This is the same way I saw it. Crawford had his moments, but he didn't have as many of them. He was being controlled the entire night. Over 90% of his fight was controlled by Israel, not the country people. If they were controlling it, everybody would have been in pieces, right, Bob?
Correct.
Yes, but it was on U.S.
Kaboom.
soil. Yeah, I agree with them, people. I agree. Crawford lost this fucking fight. This was a fucking robbery. Crawford couldn't even have gotten a draw in this fight. He didn't deserve a draw. He didn't win. He didn't bring it. Look, the champion is the one who was on the forward foot for 90% of this fight. He was pushing Crawford back. For the most part, it was what they call a lead hand battle, right? They're kind of posturing for position. And Crawford was the one who was losing. He was losing like almost every single time they were near each other, just doing this kind of lead hand battle. Crawford's losing. And it's because Madrimov his movement, he's always loading up his stance. It's very similar to Usyk or like a Lomachenko. The way he kind of steps in with that lead foot, he's popping in and out, and at the same time, he's pushing that lead hand of Crawford's down. And if he pushes it down, and Crawford, he has a tendency to kind of lean in or kind of like overextend himself. If he does that one good time, it's going to be right hand. Basically, it's Madrimov's going to come in. He's going to push Crawford's lead hand down. And then here comes the right straight right into Crawford's face. And he's in position to do that. Crawford is smart enough to know this, what he's doing. And this is why the whole fight he's getting pushed back. He's afraid to even throw punches, Crawford. And later, not too far into the fight, basically 2-3 rounds in, Crawford's afraid to even extend his lead hand because he's afraid of him pushing it down and hitting him with something. All right, so we're gonna look at some more of this.
So BDA wants to know what we thought of the hour-long Eminem performance.
Oh God. Oh my Lord.
I feel like he spent an awful lot of time trying to make sure his penis hadn't fallen off.
I knew he was going to sing that fucking Mom Spaghetti. You know that? I knew it. That's like his
That was like the seminal moment of his childhood.
I feel like
spaghetti
I feel
incident.
like that's the song that's really helped him. I guess people really connected to that piece of trash, right? They really did.
I mean, I saw him perform live at Bonnaroo years ago, and he, to be fair, even though he's not my genre of music, he put on a pretty good stage show. But what's kind of disturbing is that, like, easily 15 years have elapsed since that time, and I feel like his performance is exactly the same.
He grabs his dick too much, doesn't he?
He does.
Does
he
have
really
like?
does.
Does he have like an incurable STD? Because to this
Probably.
day, he's still grabbing his dick nonstop. I actually was gonna put that in one of my posters because their whole connection with Crawford. You know, I got a freeze frame of him grabbing his junk. I just thought it would have been hilarious, but I think YouTube would have removed my whole channel. I mean, they could have Cardi B, you know, waving her ass, literally talking about, you know.
Whatever nonsense.
Talking about
that
some stuff and
speaks
talking about some things. That's okay, but if I put a picture of Eminem doing exactly what he does all day, dude's literally on MTV grabbing his junk the entire fucking time. Like, what's going on?
Can penis having people please explain to me why he does that?
Maybe he doesn't have a dick. Maybe
like,
that's what it is.
It felt like he was genuinely concerned that it had been like stolen.
Yes,
or
he
it
has to keep
fell
checking.
off.
He has to keep checking.
He was obsessively checking. Like, is it still there? Okay, is it still there?
Maybe,
I don't even know how he managed to get the lyrics of his
well,
songs out.
he's wearing those sweatpants. Maybe he's trying to fluff himself a little bit. You know, he's like Conor McGregor. He fluffs himself a little before he comes out there. I'll show a little bit of that during our stream. This motherfucker would basically jack off at the press conference.
I mean, no thank you.
He come out like Gonzo, like, ah! And he's like, you're like, why the fuck are they? What the fuck is going on? I think he actually did that, and Floyd Mayweather was actually laughing. He was laughing at the fact this guy had a heart on at a press conference. He fluffed a little too much. He wanted to make it look a little bigger, right?
I mean, I guess.
Can you blame the guy?
Thunderdome is coming in with perhaps the only reasonable explanation that he might have had to pee. But like the guy's in his 40s. You'd think he figured out his potty signaling.
Who, Eminem?
Yeah.
Oh no, bro. He must have like a bladder problem then, because he's doing this at every single show.
I mean, listen, there's medications for incontinence. Maybe he needs to speak to his urologist.
Yes. All right,
Is this a cry for help? It might be. Eminem, if you hear this, please consult a urologist. Okay? There's a medicine. We can help you.
All right, so we're going to show some more of the, the obvious dominant win for Terrence Crawford, and everybody who agrees with him, that agrees with this decision,
is wrong and
They're
also
all-
blind.
Madrid was just throwing enough clean punches to win the round. He was dominating.
1 second.
Clean shots every round. Crawford was just throwing little combinations led by Madrid was just throwing enough clean punches to win the rounds. He was dominating with clean shots every round. Crawford was just throwing little combinations, little spurs of combinations here and there, but he was missing the majority of them. I don't see how, honestly, I don't see how we lost the fight. But, I mean, the judges saw it differently. Okay.
Can I ask you how you scored the fight? As a final
How I
bell
scored the fight?
Run. As a final bell run,
I mean,
how did you have the fight?
At the end of the fight, I think we won at least 7 or 8 rounds. I mean, I gave Crawford at least 4 or 5 rounds max. Other than
I said the same thing during our live stream, but I wasn't generous to him. But I think I wouldn't blame him for that. I think 4 rounds is fair.
I mean,
look, 4 rounds is fair if you're giving him every benefit of the doubt. If you're a very nice guy, you give him 5. But he does not deserve. He doesn't even deserve a draw in this fight. We're gonna go over. We're gonna show some
Boo.
clips from the fight.
What is the rule in this
Israel
household?
won.
What?
7.
Earn every round.
Exactly.
I don't
7,
give
8
a shit who you
Oh
are.
yeah. But you know when you're
Yeah,
when-
yeah,
The thing is
nothing.
look, is a lot of people don't count. A lot of people count the backhands. They count sheer aggression. They count like a guy just pushes somebody. They probably counted when Crawford punched him in the back of the head. They probably count all that shit.
A
So
lot
I'm-
of people smoke crack.
So
Does that mean
margin
we
of
all have to
error,
pick up a crack habit?
margin of error would be 4 rounds, 5 rounds if you want to be nice. There's no
Well,
more
no.
than that.
There's no room for
He's
being
doing
nice
it there.
in
You
this
see,
house.
he's doing it. He knows how to score. This guy.
He's only got one eye.
this guy-
Leave him
okay,
alone.
I-
It's not
I
his
understand,
fault.
I understand that. You don't have to discriminate. What the fuck? Why
I'm
doesn't he
not.
just wear like a really cool eye patch, right?
It's a missed opportunity.
It is,
You
like-
should send him an FUT or the real FUTV eye patch.
I will.
Just
I
for
will.
shits and giggles,
I
like
am.
literally
I
mail it
think
to
he's
him
a-
and
I
see
think
what
he's a-
happens.
I think he's a very good trainer. He deserves that eye patch. Yeah, that'll be good. I'll send it to him.
Taking away from kind of the bad that comes out tonight, I guess there will be a silver line and a brilliant performance, and you must be really proud of that man over there. I know it won't feel great now because of the result, but you must be really proud of everything that Israel's
Of course.
achieved.
I'm proud
tonight.
of Israel Madrimov. I'm proud of the work that we put in together as a team. Everybody in the gym that was part of this plan of this project. I'm really proud because that's the reason why Madrimov was just throwing enough.
All right,
clean
so that's
punches.
clip. We're gonna go to the next clip.
Swallow and quite a long time to process. How do you and the team recover from a defeat where you feel like you should be walking away with the belt?
We don't recover. We just ignore it after a while. It just takes days to get it out of our system. You know what I mean? I feel very, very upset right now. I'm just trying to control myself, but honestly, I wish I could tell everybody in their face what I feel, the way I want to tell them. I hold back.
What do you feel? You can say we can swear it's a free platform on here, at least down my camera.
Believe me, if I would look at every judge that was around the ring tonight in their face, I think I would punch them in the face and tell them to start fucking getting some classes of how to judge a fight.
Yeah. Well, I know Vadim mentioned at the press conference quite a long time to process.
All right, so you see
how do you,
he's got very strong
recover
feelings.
from a defeat where you feel like you should be walking away with the belt?
We don't recover.
Give me a second. I agree with him completely. I think it's a fucking robbery. That's really what it was. The guy didn't do enough, people, to win a title. They want to give this guy they want to give him the greatness status when he didn't even work for it, really. He's cherry-picked his entire career. He even cherry-picked this fight. And this is why I made that video. I don't know if you guys saw it. I have a video called Cherry Pick Gone Wrong, because I had a feeling that this guy was going to lose this fight. I said it. I think that was the video that I said that this is the best guy that Terrence Crawford has ever fought. It's pathetic, isn't it? That he's just about to be 37 years old, and this guy, Madrimov, this guy didn't even use he used only a fraction of the skills he has versus Terrence Crawford. This guy has way more layers than what we saw, and that's the scary part for a guy like Terrence Crawford. If he fights this dude again, this guy might actually knock him the fuck out. I don't think you didn't see really much of any of this guy's weapons. He didn't even switch stances, which he does that all the time. There was so much stuff this guy did not show in this fight, but even with the small amount that he showed, he easily beat Terrence Crawford. This was not a very hard fight for him. And I do think he might have been compromised. I think he might have been drained. Like I showed earlier, he was getting massages. You can see he had cramping. His arms are cramped up. He kept stretching. That's very odd, especially when you're only in the second round. Very weird stuff. Bob, where'd you go? Bob just got back at one.
I went to get water.
All right.
Since you're rude and you finished all the water and didn't replace it.
Okay. I got it. All right, so we're gonna watch some more of the reactions from all the people that thought this was a clear win for Terrence Crawford. No one in the world. I mean, why would anybody? What are they, fucking racist? What the hell?
The CompuBox. I'm curious to see the CompuBox. I'm curious to see the fight tonight on TV. But at the end of the day, there's some judges that like cleaner, bigger landed shots. I mean, if we got one of those, then I think it's obvious. Some judges like the guy to come forward and take the fight to the other guy. I think we've got that one tonight, and there's some judges, I guess, that like when you're on the back foot and kind of trying to defend and jab, kind of like what Algieri did with Provodnikov, who's here. But, that leaves a lot of questions always. And I don't know, when you're fighting a world champion, I don't know if that's the way you win. The CompuBox, I'm curious to see the CompuBox. I'm curious.
I mean, you do win when you're what they call the Amero bum. That is the way you win. But if you're, not an American, then that's the way you lose. Because any other fighter from any other country is going to lose doing that. That he's being controlled all night. Crawford was being pushed back and controlled. Crawford was barely even letting his hands go.
That dude looks like he's had a lobotomy. I don't think he's a credible witness.
Who?
Purple shirt.
Well, that guy, I think that guy is a promoter or something. I'm not sure.
He's been lobotomized.
But some things
his opinion is therefore invalid.
Okay, well, yes. No, I think his opinion means something. I think these guys know a lot about boxing. We're gonna watch a little bit of the fight. Blah blah blah. We're gonna watch since Thunderdome got in here a little late. We're gonna show that clip I showed earlier of the referee protecting Crawford, so you can see the special treatment. He's got the big promoter who's got billions of dollars, who everyone's afraid of. Turkey. They're afraid of that turkey.
Hey, Skull Kid. Hey, Big.
They're afraid of that turkey, and so they help Crawford. Everyone's helping him. Let's see this.
I like the difference.
Are you all right?
That will never not be hilarious.
Are you all right? You all right, man? Wait, did he hit you?
And I remember when we saw that during the stream, it was like, what? What just happened? Excuse me?
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Shenanigans. I call shenanigans.
It's like
I like the difference of patience.
All right, sorry,
it's tricky, man. Tough on the stuff. I like Madrimov so far, bud.
You're not forgiven. I do not forgive you.
All right, so we're gonna watch some of Bud's amazing work in the 12th round, where he's slap happy and everyone's judging all this stuff like it's the greatest shit ever. All right, give me one second. I'm going to bring down my small screen instead of using this big one all the time. All right, this is where Bud shows off his true amazing skills.
Bud better be careful. Look at him. There's another one. 3 in a row. Bud better be careful. Look at him. There's another one. 3 in a row. Bud better be careful. Look at him. There's another one. 3 in a row.
Why is his voice so light? You hear how light he sounds? He sounds like a little small lady in a karate class. He's like, yeah. And he's throwing a bunch of inside slaps, and Madrimov is like, what the fuck? Did you just hit me with what? You beat me with. I feel like it's like a Three Stooges sketch. He's just beating him with fish. What do you think?
Yeah, it's odd. And you have to also kind of be amused by the fact that these are the punches he's throwing when he evidently punches so hard he makes gloves explode.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
well, actually, supposedly he wasn't able to bring those gloves into the ring because, again, he was hitting the mitts with these things, and he was never able to go into the ring with them because they broke.
Bud better be careful.
And then look at Israel.
Look at him. There's another one. 3 in a row.
He's like, come on, bro.
Bud better be careful.
He's come on, bro. Hit me with something real. All right.
Use your punches like a big boy. Like your coach showed you. Come on, you can do it.
All right, so we watched some of Madrimov's light work. This is light work. He didn't hit him very hard in the whole fight.
A fight like this.
Boom!
Right hand from Madrimov.
Rocked.
Madrimov.
Boom!
Like this.
Boom!
A fight like this against the very.
Oh wait, look at this. The guy's stumbling there. He's like, woo! Flavor.
I will say this: the day following this event, Fu had literally no voice to speak of. He sounded like a crotchety little old lady because he was so.
I always sound like that.
Hopped up and screaming about this fight.
All right, look at this. This Madrimov, the dude can't punch, bro. He didn't land anything all night. He's obviously it was kind of close, but not too close. Obviously, Crawford landing the cleaner, more effective punches. Let's watch this.
A fight like this.
Trump's right hand couldn't help but find Crawford's face.
Fucking
every
schooled
time
his ass. Schooling his ass.
And I agree, Thunderdome. I think that there should be an immediate rematch, especially since it was a title fight. But I sincerely doubt that it'll happen.
I don't think Madrimov should fight him ever again. I think the robbery will be 10 times worse than a rematch. I think they're gonna let him straight up load his gloves.
Unless Madrimov if Madrimov has the power to knock him out, I think that
you know what Madrimov should do? Madrimov should wait for the winner of whoever they pair Crawford with next. I assume it's not going to be Canelo. I don't think it's going to sell well because of this fight. If they put him against a Virgil or any other name guy, Tim Tszyu, whatever, Madrimov should fight that guy that Crawford's going to possibly lose to. That's what I think he should do. I don't think he should directly fight this Crawford guy because he's got so much. All these dudes, for some interest, they're really into Terrence Crawford, and I do not understand it at all.
I don't either.
They're pushing him like crazy. They got all this money behind him, the whole machine's for him. So this is not a guy that he should fight next. He should wait till this guy has his next fight.
Max Kuckerman in the comments is saying that it's difficult to like American fighters because of all of the behind-the-scenes politics. So my question to you is that different in boxing outside of the United States? Like, is there a country where we could watch where this fucker... So my question was, is there a different country? Is boxing in, Uzbekistan meaningfully different?
I don't know. I think it might be more fair in other countries, but there's special treatment given to all these fighting, Any fighter of that nation, you're going to possibly find some special treatment. This is why, if you guys haven't noticed, and I said this before the fight, this guy, Bud Crawford, has never fought outside of the States. These guys did everything to bend to Terrence Crawford. They met all his demands. Even the gloves that he's wearing. He made a big deal of the gloves from what I heard, but that was probably just some fucking cover-up.
Yeah.
That was just a way to him to kind of... I bet you people are stupid enough to think that he actually wore Israel's gloves. Because the way it's written in the story, it's like, oh, well, he wore the same gloves as him. And so these idiots are going to go, you see? He wore the same gloves as him, and then they broke. What?
He's clearly just so powerful. Thunderdome is saying that Russia and Japan are pretty honest, but everywhere has some issues. America just takes the cake. Doesn't it usually, though?
They always got the cake.
Doesn't it usually?
They got that cake, bro.
We excel at shenanigans over here, apparently.
That sucks, right? All right, we're going to listen to some Porter being some guy named Sean Porter wears
Can I start a petition to get him clothes that fit? Is that a thing we can do?
I wish
Can
there
we
was a
pressure
text
him
at the bottom.
to wear proper clothing?
All right, we're gonna watch Sean Porter being full of shit. You know what's really disgusting? The fact they allow friends that they allow these commentators that are friends with one of the fighters in the ring to do commentary. I feel like that should be stopped, and I think they do that intentionally just so that the commentary could be swayed. I was okay with Sergio Mora in this fight. He did a decent job doing commentary. I didn't hear it when I first saw the fight, but after I saw it, he really was pointing out how much of a fucking fanboy Sean Porter is and how fake he is.
It should be noted we watch these fights.
Out of him fighting better than everybody that Bud's ever fought, it's not that different. Like it's just ridiculous what he's saying. When a guy has over 300 amateur fights, he ain't gonna fight like some fucking bum. Sorry, I think Brook is a great fighter, but this guy's better. He's better. He knows how to avoid punches better than any fighter Crawford has ever fought because he's experienced way more of them. He's dodged them, more of them. His brain is wired in a way that Crawford's never will be because he doesn't have this background. Just because you have 40 pro fights, to me, all that really means is you wanted to make big money much faster. Now he went through the fire, right? He had all these fights, over 300, right? That's a lot of experience.
But look
and
at
so
what
this
happened.
this whole idea that oh well, look, Bud is more experienced. No, he's not. He isn't, and he never will be because he hasn't had the amount of experience this guy's had. Maybe he's had more pro fights, but look what their versus. They're versus these washed up, broken down fighters who have not only are they at the end of their career, but they've been drained. They've been drained, and then they're hit with possible loaded gloves. So, I mean, this guy, the whole narrative around Crawford is fictitious. It's fake. It's an illusion, and we saw it break down in this fight on this night. He lost. Now they got this guy, who's this, Chris Mannix or whatever, whoever the fuck they got scoring this. He made it too close. He was making it way too close. Yeah, it was all right that he actually gave Israel some rounds. That's cool that you're giving him a little respect, but towards the end of the fight, he just starts giving it all to Crawford. So obviously here, this is what I was talking about. This is the lead hand battle that was going on. But he's not, I'll show you. I wish you could see his legs. I'm going to lower the audio a little bit. So give me one moment. All right, Bob, what do you think?
I think what instances like this do is disincentivize guys from really building up the skill set and having that extensive amateur career. Because why? What's the point? What's the point of doing all of that if you're going to go and face a bum and have it stolen? And then have it turned into this, oh, well, it was obvious because Bud is just so dominant, like craziness. You're ruining the sport by doing this because you are taking guys who would actually have the extensive career, bring a well-rounded style to the ring and telling them, no, just go straight to the pros and muck about like these guys do.
It's really, it doesn't mean that much. Most times when guys rushed into the pros right away, the only thing they usually do is they do a mess of cheap moves to fill in all the blanks of the lack of experience that they have. A lot of these guys, they go right into the pros. They have not very big amateur careers, and it's because they rushed right into the money, right? So you got this guy here, Israel, who's only had 10 pro fights. Now, he put the work in, people. That's years of work that he put in. Now they want to go cut him down, and we were saying that. I said it in the telecast I did, a few days ago? I said that this guy, yeah, he has 10 fights, but he is the most prime, best guy that Crawford's ever fought. That's just what it is, because people think it's a joke when these guys when they have 10 pro fights. That's not the whole story. The amount of experience this guy has is beyond Terrence Crawford. And I kept hearing all these people say that Crawford has more abilities. He has more weapons. He has more tools. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. And he never will. He never will. Dude, Crawford makes so many mistakes, and his biggest weapon is a lead right hand that may actually be loaded, right? And he's on snacks. And even with all his snacks and his special treatment, he still only fought a fraction of the talent this man has. He only saw a fraction of what this guy has. And that little bit that he used, for the most part, he beat Crawford. Just with the little bit that he showed.
Not for the most part. Period.
He has a
He
whole
beat
toolbox.
Crawford,
He has
period.
loads more tools to use on Crawford in a rematch if there is one.
Don't equivocate.
All right, so here we go over here. You see the way he drives down? He steps in. His lead hand battle. Crawford's lead hand technique is terrible. He just pulls it out there in an arm punch motion. The way Madrimov does it, he leans in, is similar to the way Usyk does it. So he loads up. Every time he comes down like this, if Terrence Crawford puts any kind of power on this punch and comes in, steps in with it, his lead hand's going down, and here comes in the right straight. This is what's going to happen if Terrence Crawford commits. And this is why you notice Terrence Crawford is just pawing it out there, and he's being pushed back. He's getting controlled. This is called control. That's absolute bullshit. Yep.
And Thunderdome responded, Bradley has lost his mind recently. That Pac-Man CTE is kicking in.
The thing is that he doesn't, I mean, Tim Bradley has to be one of the worst commentators in the entire sport. He thinks he's a know-it-all, but he gets basically every prediction wrong.
He also looks like a seal.
You
Or
want
a
to know why he
beluga
gets it
whale.
wrong? I'll tell you why he gets it wrong. Give me 1 second. Because he's mad racist, bro.
He's a beluga.
He picks fights based in melanin. And that's why he's always going to get it wrong many times, especially what they call the Amero bum. I think we're seeing the fall of the Amero bum.
Excellent.
You're seeing the fall of it. I said it in one of the couple of videos I made a few months ago. I was talking about Teofimo Lopez, how he's beating what did I call it? He beat racism, right? That was Teofimo's whole thing, is that these guys really aren't worthy of the praise that they get. They fight in a very boring style. They fucking run away. Just everything about them is garbage. Like you look at Shakur Stevenson, what does he do? He beats up women. I think they choose them just because they're horrible role models. And then they fight like fucking cowards. So why are we praising these guys? This guy Israel over here basically dominating Crawford the majority of the fight. And what do? They give it to the guy who's just running away. He's running away and not doing much. He's getting controlled almost the whole fight. He's getting hit with some bombs, biggest punches in the fight, and they still give it to him. That's some weird shit, bro. That really is. All right. This one's for Tim Bradley. All right, so we're going to look at what Ryan Garcia and some of the celebrities had to say about this fight. And then we're going to go back into some more clips of the fight and tell you what we think of the tactics of Israel and why he won the fight. And why he won the fight is because he controlled Crawford for 90% of the fight and pieced him up. That's how he won. All right, but we got some stuff that these, social media people had to say. Hey, Bob, you know this guy, Ryan Garcia?
Might have heard of him once or twice.
What do you think of him? Is he full of shit?
Yeah, mostly.
Do you think he's mostly full of shit?
Yeah, he's kind of annoying.
All right, so he came out recently and he was talking about this Terrence Crawford fight. He had some kind words to say of support for Crawford, I think. I consider them words of support. I just got to get some shit off my screen. Give me one moment, people. What the fuck is going on?
Open.
All right, don't make fun. This is not opening for some reason.
Your computer is
it's not funny,
declining to participate in
Yes,
your
I have a lot of
shenanigans.
clips, but it's not funny.
Oh, don't be so serious.
I'm not being serious.
You're being touchy.
This clip will not open. No, none of these clips are opening. What the fuck is going on?
I don't know.
Okay, great. So my web browser will not open any of the clips that I'm clicking on. Okay, do you see something? I think I see something over here. Okay, I think I found it. Just fucking up. Sorry about that, people.
Don't ever compare.
Okay, here we go. So Ryan Garcia had some very nice things to say about Crawford. I approve. I think he was right.
He fucking did his shit. I felt he won. At least a draw. Fuck the judges. Fuck you weirdos. You guys suck ass. And fuck Crawford. You're not pound for pound. Suck a dick. You never fought nobody good. You fought Spence that had a car accident. Fuck you, bitch.
Hey, Terrence. You joined the elite crew of like Flav, Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Roberto Duran, De La Hoya, Shane Mosley. I think I said Pernell, Manny Pacquiao. All these guys who went from lightweight to super middleweight. Like, it's that small elite. Every single person's name is all-time great. You just did that.
They really just compared this fucking guy to Manny Pacquiao.
You would think with all his money,
Oscar
he could have
De La
done something
Hoya.
about his face.
Oh my
How
lord.
does that feel?
I feel great. It was one of those missions that we was on, and we wasn't gonna let nobody or nothing take it away.
Champ, you've moved up multiple times
How does this time, moving up to 154, compare to the other times you've moved up? 147, 140?
I felt great. It was no different from 147, to be honest. Israel just was a strong opponent. You know, we knew that coming in the gate.
Yeah, is Madrimov a harder puncher than Spence, you would say?
I don't know. They have their moments. You know, both of them is very strong, but Madrimov was strong.
Terrence, how unusual was the movements, the constant fainting Madrimov did?
It wasn't like disrupting me or anything.
Yeah, it didn't disrupt him at all. That's why he didn't let his hands go for most of the fight, because it didn't disrupt him. Yeah, that makes sense, right, Bob? Does that make sense to you?
Clearly. Is the gentleman to his left going camping?
He's pushing these lies to the fucking limit.
Why does he have a giant backpack in which he could probably put Bud Crawford
He's
at
pushing,
the chair?
This
like, what is he
motherfucker's
doing?
pushing his lies to the limit. Let's watch some more of these funny jokes.
It was his patience. He was just patient. He was just waiting. He'll feint.
Oh, so he's telling you the reasons why he lost.
Just keep feinting until he get a little closer. So he was.
Did I not fucking say this, Bob? Did I not say this? He needed to use feints?
You did.
Off timing, people. That's how you beat a guy who's a sharpshooter, right? That's supposedly. You know how you beat timing? By using off timing, by using feints, by using movement. You're not letting the guy. You don't give away what you're gonna do. So you just feint, and they don't know what the fuck to do. It's that easy. This guy exposed Crawford. All these guys before him didn't know this. This is the guy. This is what experience does to you. This is why this fucking guy probably looked at Crawford. He's like, oh, that you think that can beat me? That guy can't beat me. And he didn't. This guy is better than Crawford. Period.
Real patient in there. He wasn't rushing in with nothing. He wasn't winging those.
Did I not say this, Bob? I said the key is to not rush in, is to fight him like Brooke did. Like I said, if Brooke wasn't deteriorated by brain damage from the Triple G fight, broken face, drained to fucking death, he would have beat Crawford easily, people, because he didn't lose a single round in that fight. The only thing that took him out, and he got taken out by half a fucking punch, like a jab. He didn't win half a jab, and he was knocked silly. The guy was drained to death. That was the way to beat Crawford. He showed the blueprint. Done. It's finished. This guy's there's nothing there, people. He's already exposed.
BDA is saying that Crawford later contradicted himself. He's going to send you the link to the video on Discord.
All
so
right.
Keep an eye out for that.
All right.
Please.
I don't know if I can open my Discord right now. Sometimes it fucks up my OBS. It makes it freeze.
I'm sure that you'll be able to look at the video later.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
Shots like we normally see them.
Oh, so his excuse for losing is that this guy didn't fight as a wild bum. It shows you how much of a student of the game Crawford is, because he really didn't know about his opponent, right? He's going to throw wild winging and punches. And I said this too. I said that maybe this guy's fighting up to the level of his competition. He didn't need to fight in that other way because they didn't have but actually those guys might have been more varied with their attacks. Crawford's actually much easier to read. I said it throughout this entire camp that if this guy takes away Crawford's lead right hand, the fight's done. And this is exactly what he did. He spent this whole fight, Israel, taking away this guy's lead right hand. That's all he did is paw down, parry, fencing. He's just fencing with him the whole time and driving forward. And Crawford knows he does know some things, Crawford. He's not a complete bum. He knows that the guy's not only going to parry down that shot that might actually throw Crawford off balance, but he's also going to counter him. He's in position to throw that straight right hand. Now, Crawford doesn't possess the skill to do what Israel is doing. So people got to stop these people coming out saying that Crawford's better than this guy. Give me a fucking break. This guy showed that Crawford is clearly not better.
I think most of those people have had traumatic brain injuries.
Oh, everyone in the media is saying this guy's like, oh, all time great. Come on, man.
Drugs are a hell of a drug.
In the previous fights, he was very disciplined.
All right, so the thing he said he's going to be throwing. He thought the guy was going to be a bum. He was going to fight him like a bum. Why would he do that?
He was very disciplined.
How dumb do you have to be to think that a guy that has this many amateur fights and has won as many fights as he has is just going to come in there winging out shots? You don't win 300 fights or however much it was. It was a lot of fights. He won a lot of these. You don't win those just by winging out a million hooks. Also, your body would be destroyed just throwing out a cajillion hooks like a wild man. You know? What do you think, Bob? Are we pushing this to the fucking limit?
We are. I believe we are. I mean, you are. I'm just kind of here to be obnoxious. It's primarily my function.
Okay, we're just going to go through we're just going through all the different. We're going back into the you know, the official, unofficial story of this fight, where, you know, we're being told over and over again that it's just a clear win for Crawford. You know, this guy Israel doesn't even get a fucking draw. Not even a draw, people. Not even a fucking draw. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Terry, who won?
It wasn't Crawford.
Big O, who won?
Who won? It wasn't Crawford.
It wasn't Crawford.
Big O, who won?
It's very disappointing because I want the thing to be called on the up and up, and I just don't feel like he did it.
It's very disappointing because I wanted this to be called on the up and up.
I think I literally said that during the stream.
Yeah, I think she did.
I think I was like, I'm disappointed in you.
She always says that she's disappointed. They're literally saying that they think they're saying that they think that it was corrupt, that it was corruption. You thought this was going to be on the up and up, meaning that this was not fair. This was not fair judging. This was corrupt. And actually, I have a video of Mike Tyson being asked the same question. And you know what Mike Tyson does? He doesn't even give them a response. He's probably disgusted by the outcome of this fight.
I just don't feel like he did enough to take that guy's belt. That wasn't right. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you got hair now and everything.
You see that? I got a new movie out. I got different looks, Ellie.
All right, this guy has a new movie. I don't know if he has an opinion. Maybe he has an opinion to go along with that movie. Let's see. Is he having a fight with Tarver over here? I think I see Tarver. There are too many guys. What's wrong with Ellie Setback? This isn't even fucking boxing he's showing here. This is just a bunch of dudes doing man love. Right? Right, Boots? Wait, where's Boots? Is he here?
Poor Boots.
Where did Boots go?
The butt of all the jokes.
Yeah, Boots, you're the one.
I mean, when somebody already looks like a platypus, it's unkind.
He's the one who set himself up for all that shit. You know that, right? He set himself up for that.
That was not a pound-for-pound type performance. If you're pound-for-pound, I want you to look better.
Now it wasn't a pound-for-pound performance, but he had a dangerous 300-fight amateur. You feel me? The guy was a solid pro, bro. Came in aggressive. He was strong. You can see that. But a lot of just wasting a lot of time out there doing a lot of feints, ineffective feints in the middle of the ring.
Ineffective feints that had this guy pushed back and not throwing punches. You know what I would call that? I would call that effective aggression. You know what? Effective aggression doesn't have to do with throwing a punch. You can simply come forward. Crawford knows what those feints meant. He's not just doing a little dance in there, people. That's a technique he's using that's going to allow him to parry down the lead hand and counter right off of it. This guy's full of shit.
That gentleman speaks like Mr. Ed.
He does. He's full of shit.
His top lip is doing
he's
so
like,
much.
He's in there versus a good, you know, he's like a real pro. But look, this guy is not only a pro, but he's the champion. He's the champion who's pushing back the challenger and controlling him using effective aggressiveness. Okay?
I couldn't even pay attention to what he was saying. Just the
Look at
lip.
this. He could have been jabbing. Well, Bud could have been jabbing too, bro.
I think a good jab, this fight could have been different.
Yeah, it could have, Bud. Yeah, Bud, you should have had a good jab. It could have been different, right? Yeah, it could have been different, but they gave you a robbery. Wait, what do you think that is, Bob? You think that's like, you know, oh, black, y'all? You know, that kind of thing? Just a little bit of...
Almost definitely.
A little bit of subtle racism in there?
I don't think it's subtle.
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, I'm blacker than black, yo, because I'm black and I'm black. So I'm black and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all.
That is very loud.
And I'm black, y'all, and
Got
I'm
it.
blickety black, black.
It's actually not.
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, because I'm black.
You're right.
Exactly. We're black. And remember to subscribe to The Real Food TV, the greatest channel known to man. And that guy there, I think that is the Tarver, I think that is, the guy who lost to Rocky Balboa. Fucking guy got beat by an old man. He got KO'd. Actually, I don't know if he got KO'd. Did he get KO'd in that fight, in that fake fight in the Rocky movie? I don't think he did.
LOL.
Did he lose? I don't know.
IDK. But his top lip really did the most. It was a paid actor.
All right, we got any comments in there before I get into the next stuff, Bob?
Thunderdome is saying, yeah, I saw Tice ignore them. And that's it so far. That I've read.
I saw what ignore them.
I saw Tyson ignore them.
Yes, Tyson was asked the question. He just literally walked by. We'll see some Jim Lampley's over here talking about this.
Was he sober this time? Because last time we checked in with Jim Lampley,
Was he drunk?
was very intoxicated.
I don't know if he was drunk. Where's this?
It looks like a great idea. After tonight, he fought 154-pound.
All right, so this is one of the reasons I can sort of see there being a rematch if they build this up, because most people, I think, actually thought that Bud lost his fight, and they would be correct, because we also thought he lost very clearly.
To you is a Canelo fight. I don't think it looks like a great idea. After tonight, he fought a 154-pound fighter and seemed at some times to be outstrengthed. So if you were outstrengthed at 154 against Madrimov, do you really want to go to 168 and fight the guy with...
You see, this is the thing I don't like about this guy. I actually used to like him, but he always finds a way, even if he's kind of like sort of pointing out a truth, he's pointing out half truths. This wasn't out strengths. This is out skilled, because this guy wasn't pulling a big baby Miller on Crawford. He wasn't laying all over Crawford. And that's the reason why Crawford could not, land his usual, some low blows, some shots to the back of the head. He really wasn't able to land much of anything, because this guy kept him at a mid-range most of the fight. He kept him at the end of his shots. And no one ever talks about the fact that this guy, Crawford, had about over a 5-inch reach advantage on this guy. And yet this guy was nailing him with his lead right hand, right? How many times do you see Crawford nail this guy with a straight left hand in this fight? I don't even know if maybe once, maybe twice. This guy landed like in one single round, he lands like 5 or 6 straight right hands in Crawford's face. That's a power punch, people. Well, all Crawford's landing at the most is a lead right hand. If he even does it, most of it's just a lead right hand. That's not even considered a power punch. Now for Crawford, he has a hard lead right hand, but that's your jabbing hand. They would usually consider that. This guy's, and also that's an easier punch to land when you're outstretching it and just shooting in slightly and wrapping it around, right? It's an easier punch to land. So this guy's landing the shot that's further away, and he's fighting a guy who has a fucking reach advantage that's moving back the entire time. Crawford isn't, for the most part of the fight, he was not standing his ground. He was just being pushed back. So Jim Lampley is being very dishonest here and saying things like, oh, he got outsized, basically, right? Outsized, outstrengthed. That's bullshit. You know that? And it'll be the same with Canelo, because Canelo doesn't have to tie you up and lay all over you. Now, if Israel's plan was to lay all over Crawford, just body on him, Andre Ward style, punch and hug, push the head down, that kind of thing, then I'd maybe agree with him. But, it's just bullshit. He boxed him. That's what he did. He fucking boxed. So there's no excuse for this whole thing. He outsized him. Now, also Crawford in some ways is bigger than this guy. One of those things is, like I said, he has a reach advantage. All right. What do you think of that, Bob?
I agree. I think that is well spotted.
Yes. Okay. Is there anything being said in the comments?
Nope.
All right. All right, so we're going to look at some of Crawford's taps in the fight, some more highlights tonight. Crawford getting... Okay, so we're going to watch Crawford get schooled a little bit right now. All right, just give me 1 second while I get this going. I got to turn on my audio. I think I had the audio off, so we're going to have to watch him get schooled without audio.
No need to hear Sean Porter.
Sean Porter suck
and
balls.
His love letter to Bud Crawford.
He seems to have a real love interest in him, doesn't he? Nope, that's not the right song.
That's an ironic song to play, considering how uniquely unattractive Bud Crawford is.
Yes.
Manson is performing tonight.
Okay, so here we
I'm
go.
sad we're not there.
Okay, here you go. There's a schooling. Look at that, people. Oh, he's just too big. This is what I see.
I think Bud Crawford is bigger than him.
He might be, yeah. In some ways he is, but look at this. Look, he sticks his tongue out. This is what they're scoring. Clean, effective tongue out. Body shot. A little shoe shine, boom, and a straight right hand to the body. Come on, Bud. I thought you're great, bro. Bang, bang, bang. All right. That's what you call getting fucking schooled. Flavor Flav getting his fucking face punched off.
Yeah, BBA. That was kind of what kept happening throughout the fight, where Madrimov would land like multiple straights right through the guard. He would wrap his hook around the guard, body shots, and they were clean. That's the thing. Like, they were clean, and you could see they had heat on him. And then you hear the commentary, and you see the scoring, and you're like, I'm sorry, am I in the upside down? What's going on?
The Sergio Mora, for the most part, did a decent job. Did some of the best commentary I've ever seen him do. But he also went with the narrative, right, of the narrative of the very close fight. You got the champion over here beating the fuck out of the challenger. Now let's put the shoe on the other. He's just so much better than him. So he got used to him shooting in that straight right hand. So what did he do? He faked him in the body. Come on, people. That's called beautiful boxing. That's what real boxing looks like. And they're still angry when I think Paulie Malignaggi came out and said that the best boxers today are the European ones. And they got so angry. But people, this guy's just shown once again that they are the superior boxers in boxing today. This is yet another, this is another Eastern European, isn't it, Bob?
Yeah.
The one thing I'll give Crawford is that his trunks were kind of cool. Those trunks remind me of Mortal Kombat. I think that's like the same font as Mortal Kombat. Sucks that it wasn't the other guy wearing those trunks. Because there was only one guy in this ring that was looking for Mortal Kombat. It was not Crawford. Look at him just cowering there. Just cowering. Just scared. Just scared like a little worm.
And is it just me, or does
I was taking it all in.
All right, secondary question.
What'd you say, Bob?
the tape on Crawford's gloves looks really strange. Like, that's a
Yeah.
longer
It's
tape
high.
range.
It's very high. And
than
it's
you
always weird
usually
how he can...
see.
It's always also weird the fact that he can flex his hand like that. Like he basically opens his hand completely. I don't know. Well, he's got special boxing gloves where you can open your hand like almost completely. That's weird because I know boxing gloves, especially when they're brand new, they're real tight. Unless he's taken and he's... I don't know, man. I don't know. His gloves are always weird to me.
Thunderdome is saying that all three judges gave round one to Crawford, but Madrimov won that round on every single scoring criteria. And that was what we kept seeing. Like, it was clearly a Madrimov round, and then you look at what the judges are saying, you look at the unofficial score, or you look at the unofficial scorecard rather, and they're giving it to Crawford, and the commentators are giving it to Crawford, and it's a uniquely startling experience to see what you're seeing with your eyeballs and then hear the people who are supposed to be the experts in the room saying you something that is completely contrary.
Exactly. They're always doing that. They pulled the wool over everyone's eyes once again.
Pretty broad company of craziness, particularly in the context of this fight.
A fight like this,
This
against the very good
this moment right here sums up the whole fight pretty much. We've shown it.
fight like this against the very good right hand from Madrimov.
That dude just got smashed. And if that was Bud Crawford, they would be like, "Whoa!" The commentators would say, "Whoa! Oh, damn, Bud Crawford! Ah!" And they'd be screaming like Joe Rogan over here. But the only guy you hear here is Sergio Mora, and all he calls it a good right hand. It's just good, man. It's just good. That's all it is. Just good.
Fight like
Dream of a good right hand, right? It's just
I think
good.
he said big.
Oh, you say big? I thought you said
Yeah, I
good.
think he said big right hand.
Either way, you don't hear the excitement like when Bud like literally sticks his tongue out and everyone's going, "Wah!" Right? Am I wrong? Do they not turn into chickens?
They do. They turn into chickens. But I think that the commentators were sitting there with the full knowledge that the expectation is Bud wins unless it is impossible to have Bud win. So they're trying to kind of thread that narrative through.
Yes.
I
mean,
think
yeah.
it's totally naive to believe that they're just like so patently and completely incorrect on literally all counts. The shortest distance between 2 points is likely the distance you should take. It's likely the correct one. Either Sean Porter, Sergio Mora, and that other dude are functionally retarded,
a fight like
or
this against the very good
they're telling a story.
All right. So we have a fight here, yet another fight in boxing, a very corrupted
Rogan
sport.
is in fact always wrong on fighting, and he's so fucking annoying.
He doesn't. I feel like it's a big trend now. It's a big trend now for a lot of boxing commentators to pretend they know MMA, and I guess in some ways it's also becoming a trend for MMA guys to pretend they know boxing. It's kind of going both ways now, sort of like boot tennis. You guys notice this? It seems like they're all doing it now. You got Teddy Atlas doing boxing, doing MMA commentary, which is the most awkward thing ever. And then you have Ara Hawani, who is pretending he knows boxing. Everyone wants to be a jack of all trades over here. But everybody knows only we can do that. Right, Bob? You want to know why? Because I've been watching boxing for over 20 years, people. And I've been watching MMA for over 20 years. I've been watching people get punched in the face in the ring and in the street. What do you think about that?
And
Diddy?
in a variety of shaped rings, no less.
Diddy got up for that one, people. He did. Remember to subscribe to Futv, the greatest channel known to man. What do you think about that, Joe Pesci?
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
All right. With that out of the way.
Isn't Joe Rogan like raising someone else's kid?
Is he?
I think so.
Yeah, I heard
It's
that.
weird. It's weird.
That is
I
really
mean,
weird.
listen, I get it. Blended families happen all the time, but he's such like a fucking nerd. And he's like not a cool I'm a nerd, but he's like a weird nerd. He's the nerd that the other nerds beat up. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an asshole. He's a fraud. He's a complete fraud. He's a fence sitter too. His whole claim to fame was the whole tranny thing, the fallen fox. He's like Fallon, whatever. That was his whole claim to fame. That's how he got famous. He's probably the world's most famous fence sitter. It's all because they don't know what the fuck he is. They can't figure it out. And he likes that, but he'll go in one breath he'll be like, I hate Trump. He's never coming on my show. And I'll never take that injection. You know, he's going back and forth. It's sort of like this supposed this person. They supposedly had some person that got a pew 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 at Donald the Orange guy. And in the media, this person was painted as a person who was heavily bullied, and they were heavily bullied for coming to school wearing a mask way after the
Great Panini.
over the virus thing, right? He's wearing it way after the virus, how it's all over, right? But he's also wearing hunting gear. So they create this weird visual, like you're like, what is he? He's a leftist. He's right wing. He's leftist. He's right wing. He's leftist. He's right wing. That's what they're doing to you, and that's just the same thing. The Venn
diagram of like hunters and maskers is two circles.
Yeah, they're like two different kinds of people in most people's minds. I mean, because you'll never really see a person who's conservative. The thing is, I think most conservatives are like just more intelligent. That's just kind of what it is. They're just naturally. Like leftism is more towards children and people people that are just
people
kind of
who are delayed in some way.
Yeah, they got some low IQs, possibly. No offense.
According to Thunderdome, Rogan knows Boston bathhouses, probably, and is raising a dead rapper's kid. Well, at least he's going to grow up with a father. I mean, it's a shitty father, but it's a father nonetheless. So, good for you, Joe. Good for you.
Good job, Joe. You're doing a good job.
Doing the Lord's work there, buddy.
You're raising a dead rapper son. That's a really good thing. You're a real good guy. We're going to listen to some of the stuff that went on in the back after the fight. This guy, Ellie Setback, man, he got the scoops, huh? All right. I think because I think they feel sorry for him because they think he's like Down syndrome. Maybe. Ellie Setback reporting.
Don't be mean.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Did you think Crawford won tonight? I thought it was a draw, maybe lost.
Yeah, it was a very close fight. Yeah.
Well, you and Ryu, good fight?
All right. There's some more of it. He says it's very close. It wasn't very close. Maybe Loma. I mean, it's not close, people. It was competitive at times, but it wasn't close. Just because it's competitive does not make it close. So you got Ellie Setback over there. What he said, his opinion was that Crawford. He said either it was a draw or Crawford lost. And even him, with his low IQ, and that's not to say, that's not a bad thing. You can have a low IQ. It's okay, Ellie. It's okay. We like you, sort of, in a way, sort of. It's okay. But even he, being retarded, can still see that Terrence Crawford lost his fucking fight.
I mean, I think if you have eyes, you saw that.
So if you look at different pages, like there's a lot of these interesting channels on the internet, and they swear that this guy won this fight, and even Ellie Setback has better boxing takes than they do. That's really sad.
I mean, to be fair though, There are people who like
I
get
can't
up
hear
every
you, Bob.
morning. To be fair, there's people who get up every morning and go smoke crack. So like,
You know who looks sort of like they smoke crack?
who?
Crawford.
Yes.
I said it before. He looks sort of like the guy from anyone ever seen Menace to Society?
No.
I'm gonna find that clip
I
real
watch
quick.
good movies, not trash.
All right, I'm gonna show you who Crawford looks
Hoodlum
like. People.
LARPs.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna show you this clip right now. Give me 1 second. Is my thing working? This keeps
I don't
getting
know.
small. Okay. She doesn't know. Give me 1 second, people.
Gonna need to be a bit more specific.
All right, Sean's.
Before we get to the clip of Sean of Crawford, we're gonna look at a little bit of an interview
The
that Tim
beluga whale has
Tim
an
Bradley,
opinion.
the SEAL, a human SEAL, did after the fight.
Why is he always in his car?
I don't know. He's jacking off.
That's weird.
He's sitting outside of a local
That's
school.
a weird first
All
response.
right, so here we got Tim Bradley right here, who's hanging outside with the local elementary school.
Wait, come on.
What?
Come on.
That's not a bad thing. You know, Tim's he's just
Come
hanging
on.
out. Just
He is not a friend of the playground.
He's got his hand-
Make as many jokes as you want, but don't call him a friend of the playground.
he's got his hand in places. He's right now. He was driving his his New Jersey what do you call it? Haitian taxi cab, sort of like a minivan that he picks up
Those
people.
little buses you see at Port
Yeah,
Authority all the
it's a
time.
mini bus. He stopped it off by the local elementary school for a couple of minutes, so you can. I don't know. I just don't like the way this face looks here. What do you think of this, Boots? Seems
We
like
should make a compilation of
seems
strange
like he
faces.
understands this kind of thing, right?
I was taking it all in.
All right, secondary question.
No Diddy.
You got-
Thunderdome suggests that it's because his wife won't let him speak in the house, and I think that that's probably actually
That
the truth.
actually might be true,
She's like,
actually.
"You're fucking stupid. Go to your car," and he's like, "Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry."
I feel like he would do that kind of thing. What do you think?
Yes. But I feel like he serves less seal, more beluga whale. Look at that like 18 head he's got. His frontal lobe must be significantly overdeveloped.
All right. Okay, Tim Bradley. Let's listen to some of this.
Tell fresh back from Los Angeles after covering the Crawford Madrimov fight, and with my man, the 2023 broadcaster of the year from the Boxer Writers Association.
Did they really make this guy broadcaster of the year? What the fuck? For what?
That guy
World's worst boxing takes?
He looks like he's a fan of Fall Out Boy.
He looks like Tony Hawk's retarded cousin.
Man, Tim Bradley, what's going on? Tim, what'd you think of well, first of all, how you doing, man, and what'd you think of the card over the weekend?
I'm doing good, man. I'm chilling. You know, at the soccer field as always. You know, doing my thing with my kids, man. They playing in the Surf Cup, so got a couple of them in the finals already.
Wait, sorry, people. I don't think you can hear. Let's hear that again.
Man,
What'd you think of
He sounds mad high, bro. He's hanging out. Dude, they're gonna have to get what's that stuff they give to people? Whatever. He sounds high, like he smoked crack with Crawford.
well, first of all, how you doing, man, and what'd you think of the card over the weekend?
I'm doing good, man. I'm chilling. You know, at the soccer
So
field.
Tim Bradley's in a state of depression, even though they gave Bud the win. He's depressed for his friend there.
As always, you know, doing my thing with my kids, man. They playing in the Surf Cup, so got a couple of them in the finals already. I had one just lost in the finals, so they were finalists. And then
What the fuck is wrong with this guy? I'm telling you, he's working hard in the taxi cab. He hasn't got dude's working on 2 hours of sleep. He's been working all weekend.
It's because he doesn't have that special wooden bead mat
He's
on
like,
his
he's
seat.
like,
on
Those
the
little
chin,
wooden
because,
bead
again,
mats
those
give them the
punches hurt
power.
that were coming from Crawford. They were heavy
Exactly.
shots. One interesting note that I saw was Crawford had Grant gloves on. I went back and I saw on social media that his other gloves, I guess, were ripped.
Oh my God, he let the quiet part out loud. I guess it ripped. You think this motherfucker doesn't know this guy's cheating? You think he doesn't know that? He knows for a fact that this guy's cheating.
You are just killing it on the freeze frames today.
This
my
guy here, you know how many fights this guy has? An amateur career, a pro career. He knows boxers. He's around boxers all the time. It ain't normal, people, to take a boxing glove out of a fucking bag, brand new, and you just punch some mitts and it falls apart. The things are literally built to be durable. They're built for that. This is what boxing gloves look. Imagine this, Bob. You go buy a fucking pair of boxing gloves and they just fall apart. As soon as you buy them, you spend over $100 on them.
I would be
Look,
returning them.
and I've said it a million times already. These fights are no joke, people. These are multi-million-dollar productions. They're not going to just buy this guy the cheapest fucking gloves, right? Because they'll break in the ring. This is why we've never seen this. I've never seen this before, Terrence Crawford. I've never seen a pair of gloves break ever. So let's hear this guy say this again. And look, if this guy here doesn't point out that's really suspicious and that's really odd that this has happened more than once, this guy, I mean, even once is a huge red flag, but twice?
I went back and I saw on social media that his other gloves, I guess.
Why are we gonna say, Bob? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I was going to say it's important to note that these aren't just gloves that Crawford's team are able to buy and sneak in the side door. These are gloves that are approved by the Athletic Commission.
The Athletic Commission goes and gets the best gloves they can buy, and they bring them to them. And they try them on. They're like, "Do you like the way this one feels?" And they try them on, and then they pick a pair, and then they approve it, and that's it. That's what it is. They're not going on Amazon and getting $20 gloves. They're getting the finest gloves you can fucking buy. It's not easy to, again, these gloves are made to take punishment. It doesn't make sense. This makes no sense at all, outside of he's tampering with them.
Ripped or something. He had Everlast gloves on. Well, when you have Grant gloves on and you wear them for the first time, they're really, you got the foam type, and then you also have the horsehair.
All right, so he's just going to gloss over the fact that these gloves ripped. Right.
I think he's going to say that there was some sort of internal defect.
Let's see. But they've already said this with the Everlast gloves. This is good. Come on. Let's see.
I went back.
Maybe this is why he's acting weird, because he knew they were going to ask him this fucking question, and he's just like, he doesn't know how to answer it.
I saw on social media that his other gloves, I guess, were ripped or something. He had Everlast gloves on. Well, when you have Grant gloves on, you wear them for the first time. They're really, you got the foam type.
Why did he just say the Everlast when he was wearing Grants? The gloves that ripped were Grant gloves, not Everlast.
Well, I think he maybe misspoke because he's now explaining.
Maybe he's just being full of shit, and he's.
Well, yes, he is the Kamala Harris of boxing commentary.
Now, what do I mean by that? He just did enough just to compete. He didn't do enough to win the fight. Crawford back like 3 feet, man. He got hit with the right hand. And I seen him get pushed back. I was like, "Joe, that's a heavy ass punch that Madrimov just threw and landed." But Crawford took it well, took it like a G. He boxed well. He came out. He looked sharp. I mean, after
he took it well. He took it well. So you're gonna give him credit for eating a punch? Wow.
Think about this, people. After a year off, dude, and to look that sharp.
He didn't look sharp though.
He didn't look sharp. Also, he's getting pushed back. What are you talking about? Looking sharp. Come on, people.
Look, bro, that is exceptional. That's remarkable.
Also, whose fucking fault is it that this fucking cornball took a whole year off? He beat up Spence, a drained to death motherfucker, and then he took a whole year off. Whose fault is that? It's all Crawford's fault. So it's just stupid what he's saying.
He looked super sharp early on, super duper sharp.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
His head is a weird shape.
He's getting his ass fainted to death. He's like, oh, don't hit me. He's reacting to every single feint this guy's throwing. This dude and the dude's pushing him back. It's effective aggressiveness. That's what was happening through most of these rounds. It was effective aggressiveness and just clean punching. Well, yeah, Crawford landed some punches.
Yeah, BDA, that's basically what he said. He was unable to stop the right hand, like a G.
Yeah, like a G. He ate that punch to his fucking face like a G.
I feel like all people who self-identify as a G should be offended right now.
Being BC. I'm not
early on. Madrimov was a lot more patient than again what we seen him in the past. And I will say this, like the champion didn't defend his belt like a champion. Now what do I mean by that? He just did enough just to compete. He ain't doing
what he's saying, it's the other way around. The champion pushed back the challenger and controlled him with effective aggressiveness. He took away for the majority of the fight. He had taken away Terrence Crawford's biggest weapon. That's a very important thing to determine a winner of a fight. You take it like, look, Manny Pacquiao, one of his best shots, he had a great right hand, but his big shot was a left straight. Now, if you go and you take away his left straight, when you score the fight, this is one of, you got to basically give the other guy the win. If he's outlanded Manny Pacquiao and he's taken away his most important weapon, but Manny Pacquiao has not taken away his most devastating weapon, then obviously the guy that he's done more, and he's aggressive. He's also the forward aggressor, the effective aggressor. What did Crawford do? He moved back. He landed some little touch jabs, a couple of decent flurries, and there you go. Did he really do enough? I mean, this is the kind of guy over here who says you got to beat the champ. He's the one that said that Teofimo Lopez lost to Ortiz. What? How? Okay, I guess it makes sense, right? I guess it's logical to go with that because, I mean, Ortiz, all he did was run all night.
Enough to win the fight. I thought that he should have stepped on the gas, or he could. He had chances.
He did step on the gas. That's absolute bullshit. He was pushing the guy back the whole night. Step on the gas. Were you supposed to run after this fucking bitch?
I felt there were times where you're hearing from his corner to him to go down to the body and take a little bit more chances, and he wouldn't. Whereas Crawford
was just moving away, not taking chances. Getting his face punched off, right hand straight to the face. Yeah, he stuck his tongue out and did a little wiggle with his hips. Maybe that's why they gave him the win, right? Turkey?
He did everything. I mean, Crawford led, he ended, he finished, he started, and he finished combinations. I mean, he moved.
People, I've been telling you guys for so long how full of shit this guy is.
He truly is the Kamala Harris of boxing commentary. You ask him like a direct question and he takes you on a fucking journey.
Hey, Tim Bradley, is it normal for a fighter's hands, their gloves, to blow up, to break, hitting the mitts?
Well, when you wear the
it
foam
happened
type
twice in 2 different
and
fights.
the horsehair type, and you have gloves that are on your hands.
Yes.
And they're made out of leather, and you hit things, and things hit your hands, and they have gloves on, allegedly, and that, I feel like that's what we've just heard.
But you guys watch, like, he glossed over the whole thing of the gloves ripping, and then he barely even explained this whole thing about he was wearing Grants. Does he go into that?
He counterpunched effectively. He stepped inside the pocket. He walked Madrimov down in spots, man. He did everything.
He walked him down in spots, but what about Madrimov walking him down throughout the majority of the fight? Which one's more meaningful, Bob? You walking him down in spots, or the champion walking you down for the majority of the fight? Hey, Bradley, why don't you point out that part where the champion walked the challenger down, was chasing the challenger? This is one of the other reasons why I thought Rios did not win that fight, because even though Pitbull Cruz was not landing clean work, he did land a lot of partials, very, very hard partial blows. He was throwing big looping punches, and he would hit him, clip him a little, while Rios was landing very, very little clean blows. And the punches he was throwing were little taps. So, and then this is the champion pressing the challenger. You cannot do that if you go by this whole saying of, you got to beat the champion. Crawford did not beat the champion. No way in fucking hell did he beat the champion. He fought a very scared fight. And I said it in the telecast, he can dish it out, but he can't take it. So when he gets in the ring with Canelo, if they let this guy get in there for his bad day, he's going to be down on his face. So he's going to need all that money to pay his medical bills.
He did everything to win the fight. Whereas Madrimov, he stayed comfortable within himself. Didn't want to take any chances. You
know what's crazy? The fact that it's the complete opposite. You know that? We saw it. It's the opposite, isn't it, Bob?
It is, but, people often, and they were honestly kind of conditioned into this in the last several years of world events, they have been taught not to trust what they see and to trust instead what the experts say. And he is functioning right now as the expert in the room, and he is telling you that what you saw with your peasant eyeballs was wrong.
Yeah, it's disgusting what this guy says. This guy's been a mouthpiece for a while. I don't know, maybe someone's got him up to say this. P. Diddy, what do you think of this? All right, that's what P. Diddy has to say. We're just gonna watch another clip of you guys seen the clip. We're gonna watch it again just to show you guys that Tim Bradley is correct. That's just a fact. That's just a fucking fact. That's all it is. We see it, a dominant win for Crawford there. Is that some of we could probably find some running if you guys want to see what he did. He did some running in there too, right?
He did, especially towards the end of the fight. I think in like the 10th and 11th round, he was just galloping around the ring like a little.
A fight like this against a very good right hand from Madrimov.
Madrimov is letting.
All right, people, you get it. There was just so much schooling. I only got a couple of clips. I wish I could show the whole fucking fight, but it can't. That's just the way it works.
One interesting note that I saw was Crawford had Grant gloves on.
Oh wait, did I go back?
I went back.
I feel like I went back.
You didn't.
No.
And I saw on social media that his other gloves, I guess, were ripped or something. He had Everlast gloves on.
Oh,
well, when you have.
I mean, he's so dishonest. Just this part here, right alone, that part he said about the gloves ripping. I guess the gloves had ripped. He knows that this guy's cheating. He knows it.
Look, man, anything is possible, man. Anything is possible.
Crawford started at 35, and Charlo, despite being almost 6 feet tall, big 154-pounder his whole career, he was on his bike, and Canelo was still able to find that moving target and line him up with a right hand, the same kind of shot Madrimov kept touching Terrence with, a right hand against the southpaw, and line him up with a right hand, the same kind of shot Madrimov kept touching Terrence with, a right hand against the southpaw.
I don't like that you just said that. I don't like that you said that because it's not true. It didn't happen.
So do you think Crawford or Canelo could land that right hand against Crawford the same way he did against Charlo and the same way Madrimov did against Crawford? And, I know you said Terrence can do well against Canelo, but ultimately does he beat Canelo?
I don't know.
Definitely.
I don't know if he can beat Canelo. But I still would like to see it. I think if Canelo doesn't fight, if Canelo doesn't fight Benavidez, I think the next safest route for him is Crawford. Why not? Canelo right at this point is about the money. He's gonna make.
Yeah, Crawford's not about the money, that's for sure. That's why he wants to jump all the way up to fight Canelo after cherry picking a guy that just beat him. Hey, Bob, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, we've said it. It's very suspicious. It's bad for the health of the sport. It's profoundly dishonest for these commentators, these supposed experts to come out and endorse this chicanery. It's disgusting. I enjoy the sport. If I wanted to see some, staged, scripted bullshit, I would watch WWE. There's a reason I don't.
All right, so I'm going to find a clip I found of Bud Crawford. Just give me 1 second. It's an important clip. Hey, Bob, can
I what? So yeah, the other fights on that card also had some kind of suspicious moments, like when we were watching Big Baby Miller was his last name. It was really again, it seemed that the snack fighters, the people who were favored in some capacity by Al Sheikh, they could do whatever they want during the fight, regardless of whether it was within the rules, regardless of whether it made any sense. It was very blatant. So that was kind of a disappointing thing to see. And I would hope that this is not what this gentleman is hoping to bring to the sport of boxing. It's great that he wants to throw his considerable wealth behind it, but it would be not great if he's throwing his considerable wealth behind it just so he can kind of do the same thing that these other promoters have been doing forever, basically.
Yeah, it's weird, that's for sure. It's weird that they put so much behind this guy when he's just struggling through all these fights. He's cherry-picking his whole career. But they just keep giving him fights, and they keep trying to make these big money deals for him, and he doesn't deserve any of it. He doesn't. I mean, I've said it many, many times. This guy, this is the most prime dude he ever fought, and was a guy who only had 10 fights. Yeah. Right? I was looking for that clip. I can't find it. I guess they've stripped it from the internet. You would think it would be around because it's gay. That whole thing. All right, but we'll watch this one, which is a parody of Menace to Society. Let's see this.
Yeah, 40s and 9s.
Ah, that's my favorite stuff. Hey, I'm gonna go in here and get me a malt liquor Slurpee. Run across the street and get me some barbecue potato chips. Ooh, can I keep the change? Hell no, fool. That's a $10 food stamp. Better bring back my change. Give me some stupid fucking... What's up now, you pretty punk chick? Yeah. Hey, what's up? We got a problem, Toothpick? I said, do we have a problem? Huh? Oh, you got a problem, buddy. Right here. Here's your right there. Right there. All right. Yeah. All right. Play a little game. Right here. I said, do we have a problem? Huh? Oh, USSR.
All right, that's definitely not the clip. That guy in the car looks sort of like Gervonta Davis, right? Doesn't he?
Yep.
So yeah, after the fight, I think most people think, and people know the sport who aren't a Crawford fanboy, think he lost the fight. So that Canelo fight has kind of flown the coop, hasn't it?
I don't know. Maybe Canelo saw that performance and is like, you know what? Actually, on second thoughts.
No, I mean, he has nothing to fear from this guy. You know, there's nothing to fear there. It's just about money because it offers him nothing for his legacy. So why, you know, he wants to get the big money. So Turkey a la Chicken wants to come out. And it almost sounded like a threat when he said, oh, if he's smart, he'll fight him. Did you hear him say that?
Mm-hmm.
To me, that sounds almost like a threat. That's like literally saying that he's stupid. If he's smart.
Well, what he's probably saying he'll do is he'll block other fights. So if Canelo is expressing interest in fighting person X, Turkey al-Sheikh will find a way to disrupt that. And he has the money to do it.
What Turkey wants, Turkey gets.
Correct.
Yes.
In a literal sense.
That's what he used to say to his mom back in the day. He was a very spoiled kid, probably, right?
Oh, most definitely.
All right, so we're just going to watch it. We're going to watch this last piece about the gloves of Bud Crawford. A lot of people haven't talked about this. We went on about the gloves. And here's the last bit we'll talk about when it comes to these fucking gloves. I'm kind of sick of talking about him. The guy obviously loads his fucking gloves. And Tim Bradley is a piece of shit. Because he glossed right over this fact. You think this guy knows about gloves, people. He knows about fucking gloves.
Yeah, Thunderdome said he 100% knows. He also said Inoue looks sharp.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he looks very good. Inoue, he reminds me in some ways of Manny Pacquiao. But I think Manny Pacquiao was definitely a superior fighter, but he's close. He's a beast. He really is. He has no intimidation. He also has like a pretty boy face, right? He has like a pretty face. Am I wrong? He looks like one of those J-pop stars.
Mm-hmm. K-pop, not J-pop.
K-pop. I thought it was J-pop, like Japanese.
It's usually South Korean.
Oh, whatever. Right. Yeah. All right, so I showed this the other day. So this is the first time Terrence Crawford got caught with this, where the gloves broke. Because we have no idea how many times he's done this. He could have been doing this his whole career. And also, you know what's funny? He blamed it on the last time where they broke the other day. He actually blamed it on his coach. That's like just proof of guilt to do that. And he's trying to act like he's some stand-up guy, like his coach is like his daddy or something. He's like, oh, well, my coach told me to put on those gloves, right? Just in case he gets caught, I guess. So over here, basically his gloves blow up in the ring, and these people are looking at them. They look very nervous, actually. And what you'll notice, I don't know if it's in this video, but first of all, he says that they ask him that he's going to need to change those. They tell him you're going to need to change those because in the rule, you cannot fight with broken gloves. So they tell him where's the replacements for these, right? What does Bud do? Bud straight up fucking lies and says we don't have any more. The other one's broke. This guy's so dumb. It's amazing. This isn't even a realistic thing that this would even happen without tampering with your gloves. So he comes in and he lies to this person, and then they bring him the actual gloves. They said after this round we're bringing the gloves. So he goes in there and you see him because as soon as this round ends, they're gonna bring him his replacement gloves. These gloves, I think, are the ones that have some shit in them. Right? There's something going on with these gloves, or his wraps or whatever. But there's got a fire under his ass. In this round, when they told him they're gonna take these gloves off in the next round, he just goes crazy trying to knock this guy out.
We'll do this round and get the other.
Of
according to Bernie the boxer, who's a coach and a teammate of Terrence, and I'm clearly saying he was not at the fight. He says, obviously, I told him, Bernie, you know that you got to bring 2 pairs of gloves, and he said they both got busted up. Terrence busted a pair in the back, warming up. Then he busted a pair in the fight. But I gotta go. I got some other callers.
That's a damn lie. That's a damn. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Of course he believes it, right, people? He's a piece of shit. He's just trying to keep his little cred in the boxing world. He doesn't care what he has to do. What is that? Where's that coming from?
I don't know.
What the fuck was that?
I think you just stopped it.
Yeah, I did, but there was some weird video just came on out of nowhere. I don't know why.
It
All right,
said-
so we got this other video. Tim Bradley, of course, talking some shit. People, this guy's... Avanizian said it after the fight. This guy has never knocked anybody out with a single punch, and that's exactly what he did in this fight. He hit this guy with 1 left hook. He was knocked clean out. Dead. Knocked out.
If you're familiar with Terrence Crawford...
What I find really funny about this video, one of the reasons I'm showing it, is because these people, this is how fucked up these boxing fans are, these supposed boxing fans. They're really just, it's just a cult of personality. They don't give a shit about the sport. They just want to bone Crawford. That's really what it is.
Which is truly the most mystifying part of it all.
That's what I think it is. Like I said, the blacker the skin, the sweeter the
butthole.
Butthole. The sweeter the butthole. Right? Am I right or am I right?
I was taking it all in.
All right, so here we go. He's going to be doing a play-by-play of a fighter that has broken gloves. The guy is punching another man in the face with broken gloves on, and this guy's like, hey, let's just break it down. The nuances of cheating.
Crawford, when he fights out the southpaw stance, you should understand
The
that he
southpaw
likes to
stance.
control his opponent's lead hand.
Oh, is he?
And spacing with probes, posts, and pins.
Yeah. It's cool when you have this big-ass reach advantage on him, bro. Look at this. Look, wide open, got his left hand down. This fucking dude's wide open for really a right hook. I'd smash him with a right hook right there. Look at the positioning of Avanizian.
Yeah, but you have long, like, alien arms.
Yes, but this is trash. Let's you slip off the line, shoot your shot in there. Look, this is not good technique, people. It's not. He's basically doing a stiff arm, actually, also.
Posts and pins.
He does
The
stiff
control
arms.
tactic has a myriad of
It's a control tactic. Yeah, he steps aside. Look at his legs.
benefits for Crawford physically and psychologically.
It's almost like he's touching him with the glove. He's not like, what is this guy even? What is he even doing?
As the probe serves as punch trap.
This guy had an overhand left. He probably smashed his face.
Plus a physical and mental.
Look, what is this? Like, there's nothing. Look. Like I said, look at this is like a fencing technique with the hand, right? When you watch Israel do it, it's actually a beautiful technique. The way Crawford does this, literally, just like he just pushes his hand out there. He's not in position to really throw a really hard punch when he's doing this.
Plus a physical.
It's not the people. It's not impressive. He paws it out and takes a step back. Lazy. It's fucking lazy.
A mental barrier. The controls also increase the
When you see Israel do it, he pumps it. He almost does like the stutter step like Lomachenko does, or like Usyk. He's actually loading the shot when it comes down. So if he parries down your lead hand, he can come in immediately with his power shot, with his right hand. Bud Crawford doesn't load it. It's just a paw, and then sometimes he'll like paw it and jump in and throw a punch. It's not very good, and this is why you didn't see Bud really leaping in a lot versus Israel, because he knows he would have got his fucking face knocked off. I'll give him that. He did recognize that.
Probability of the opposite hand being thrown, which Crawford is fully aware and ready for defensively.
So he pumps it out there, but he's not in position to really throw a nice hard shot, really.
However, when Crawford stops probing, he often drops the lead hand into the sling of
Which I showed this in the machine, whatever that guy's name is, the machine. This is poor technique. If you fight an actual good fighter, he's going to pump jab your face off.
Philly shell or just a low.
All you got to do is throw feints. You throw feint, pump jab right into his face. This is another reason you didn't see this technique in the Israel fight. Did we, Bob?
Nope.
We did it. He can get away with his this kind of garbage when he's fighting bums. And this guy he's fighting here was at the end of his career. This guy was always a bum, and he fought the bum at the end of his career.
Lead hand as a trap, baiting the jab. Finally free to punch traffic and barriers, opponents often oblige the opportunity to throw the jab.
So again, I just said it. It leaves him open for a jab. This guy's a trash fighter, so he wasn't able to land this jab. But if he would have fought a good fighter, they would have punched his face off.
Jab is thrown, Crawford slips or pull counters with typically a cross or a backhand uppercut. On the
But
inside,
that
Crawford
didn't
turns
hit him. That missed.
Yeah, I mean, but I just find what you know what I find funny is the fact that he's doing an analysis of a fight where, first of all, he's fighting a bum. Second, he's got fucking ripped gloves.
roll into the frame with
Look at this uppercut he throws over here.
Same principle.
Look at the rip in that glove. You know how bad this could fuck this guy up. And you want to. This goes back to this whole thing that people want to say, this sport's racist. It's racist. They're just playing against black people all the time because it's racist. Well, if it's racist, then how is this the only motherfucker I've ever seen in over 20 years of watching boxing that is allowed to fight in illegal gloves? He's the only guy. And he just happens to be dark. He happens to have dark skin. The sweeter the juice, right?
I was taking it all in.
What do you think about them apples, Bob?
I mean, I think the proof is in the butthole.
It's not speaking very loud, Bob. Bob, can you get closer to the mic? I can't hear you.
I don't know. Are you evaluating whether or not I have the physiological ability to get close to the mic?
You have an amazing ability to talk very low.
I'm speaking like a person.
Okay. All right. So, look, let's watch this again. I mean, I'm just pointing out, he gets to punch guys with fucking ripped gloves. So look at this uppercut. You know how bad that could have fucked that guy up? Talk about, that's like the atomic, that's like a fucking razor blade to your face. They talk about lacing. This is like a million times worse than lacing. He could have like ripped this fucking guy's eyelid off.
So Crawford,
look at this. All straight up lace to the face. Imagine he took his ear off with that shit.
misses the backhand uppercut.
He did. He hit him in the ear with it. You saw that, Bob?
Yeah.
He fucking slid this broken glove across this guy's ear. This dude should have sued the fuck out of him for this. He should have sued the whole commission, everybody.
Uppercut, but Avanesian does something that becomes important.
Bud Crawford hitting him with the what I call the cheese grater, the cheese grater technique.
3 blocks the uppercut. He tries to counter with the backhand to the head.
Oh shit!
In this video, we're gonna be
sorry about that. I'm gonna go back. I'm finding this to be very funny. Sorry, Bob. What do you think about this guy? You like his breakdown?
No, it's boring.
However, when Crawford seconds later, the same sequence occurs. This time, Crawford gets more spacing, sets the trap, and lands the
Thunderdome
uppercut.
thinks that he aimed for his ear.
Tries to counter.
Damn, I was gonna show you guys that fucking ear shot too. Let's see this. I want to see.
He got really inspired by that Mike Tyson fight where he bit the ear.
Oh yeah, but he was gonna do better. He was gonna uppercut it off.
He's like, I'm.
Sets the trap.
It just sliced the top ear
again,
off.
10 seconds later, the same sequence occurs.
Look, he sets the trap. Let's hear this.
This time, Crawford gets more spacing, sets the trap, and lands the uppercut. Once again, Avanesian tries to counter with the backhand to the head, and it's blocked.
Okay.
Now, Crawford is either the best...
I mean, like, look, who is Avanesian anyway? Who is he?
Or amongst the best when it comes to...
There you go. You saw it. The cheese grater to the sides of the ear. Side of the ear.
He thought he was... Who is that main character from Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, what do you call this blocking technique? What do you call this? The close your eyes and hope for the best?
Look at this. Timing in boxing is pattern recognition.
He closes fucking... Look at this. He closes his eyes. He's like, oh, I hope this doesn't hurt.
In boxing is pattern recognition. Amongst the best when it comes...
That's that close the eyes and peekaboo. Like, I hope I don't get knocked out by this right hand that this guy's got terrible accuracy. Look at this. His eyes are closed. Crawford's eyes are closed.
Timing in boxing.
And you know what was the devastating part of that blow?
What?
The shoulder he received to the bridge of his nose.
I mean, he's fighting a guy that's not very good. But, it's still, if he was fighting a guy actually was... I mean, Avanesian's okay, sort of. But, I mean, he's way smaller than Crawford, and everything was against him. The deck was stacked.
Recognition. The pattern is after I bait the jab, I pull counter uppercut, and Ava throw.
Look at the way he steps in. He falls in. Obviously, he's going to throw the uppercut. I mean, it's obvious what Crawford's trying to set up. These are not good setups.
It was a counter backhand.
This is such a hideous fight.
High boxing IQ like Crawford's,
what?
The same thing twice within 10 seconds. Especially
I've seen better technique outside a pub at 3 a.m. All right, come on.
Yeah, I'm just impressed by the fact that he doesn't even point out the rips in the gloves for even a second. But this is the round where Crawford stepped it up to get that knockout, I think, right?
Yeah, because he knew he was going to have to put on the unfucking broken
Did he put
gloves.
an effect on there? Yeah, he did. He knew they were going to make him take these gloves off, so he tried to knock the guy out because he knew that they were going to take these fucking gloves away from him. But I don't know. I think it might be in the fucking wraps. I don't know. That's why this is the fight where he kept those fucking wraps on till to the end of eternity. He wouldn't take these fucking wraps off. And look, he knocks the guy dead with a lead right hand. Who is this guy? Mike Tyson? You know, Mike Tyson's one of the only guys that, I guess Manny Pacquiao knocked out. He knocked out Hatton like this, but he hit Hatton with what? An actual real good punch. This is like not nothing too crazy, like the way he comes into it. I just said it's not something you really see Crawford do. I feel like this is like the only fight you really saw him knock someone out like that. But yeah, I just find it funny that he's hitting guys with fucking broken gloves. This guy's doing a breakdown.
This gentleman is very passionate about cheating.
Yes. It's like I'm not even going to point out that he has fucking ripped gloves. And he shouldn't even have been fighting in those
That's
gloves.
normal.
That's normal.
That's normal.
The special treatment, people, is fucking insane. That's really what it is. Can you stop that dog from doing that, please? Our dog right now is just knocking plates all around the room.
Well, it's your fault. You gave her pork, sous vide
she
and
has
duck fat.
She has her bowl, and she's not weed, people. Our dog doesn't smoke weed. She's got a bowl over here, and she's moving it all around, all over the fucking place.
Because you gave her pork sous vide and duck fat for
Yes,
dinner.
I did.
Of course, she's trying
See,
to get
that
every
dog
last
has the
morsel.
That dog had a fancier dinner than I did. I ate sausages. This fucking dog ate pork with duck fat. What do you think of them apples? Does anyone have to say anything about that?
Josh is saying Crawbum lost, and without his magical gloves, he's trash.
Yeah,
We're inclined to agree, Josh.
He
We're
does.
inclined to agree.
They were telling us for weeks that this guy, he's just too skilled. He's too skilled. He got more tools. He got more weapons. Well, in reality, he had less of all of those things. All three of those things, he had less of them. Because the only reason I could see a fighter coming into the pro ranks, like, well, how many fights did amateur fights did Crawford have? I don't think it was that many. And one of the main reasons these guys do that is because they just want the big money real quick. And this is what Crawford's doing, but he's not doing it real quick. He fought a long line of finished fighters, a lot of finished fighters. And now that he's sort of stepped it up, the first prime fighter he fought in his entire career is at the age of 37. And the guy had 10 pro fights. But Crawford thought this would be easy. I think what it was is that he was given, as we showed, I think this guy might have been drained. He might have actually been drained in that ring. And he still did this to Crawford. Used a fraction of his skills. And he still did this to Crawford. Isn't that nuts? Bob,
Yes.
Isn't that crazy? This guy thought this was going to be...
I think we all collectively agree.
Yes,
that is crazy.
Yes, this was probably the easy. He thought this was the easiest money to make for the highest price. And in the end, he might have lost. Not only I think he really lost the fight. I know he lost the fight. He lost the fight, and he also probably lost the Canelo fight. I have a feeling he's going to be begging this guy for that rematch. Not begging. He won't beg. He's going to still try to get the upper hand in the negotiations. And I think Israel should say no. Go fight someone else. I'll fight the winner of that. That's what he should do. Play some of their games, right? I'll let you age out a little more, bro. Let's see you age a little bit more. I'm 28. I'll fight you in 2 years. Play some games. Hey, guys. And I know it's big money, but he's already got this. He's got bragging rights. He says, I didn't just beat him, but I beat him easy. And he can also lie just like they do, right? A lot of these slick fighters, they love to lie. He should just say, if Madrimov hears this or any person connected to him, just tell this guy to come out and say, I hurt my hand 3 days before the fight. Right? He hurt his hand. That's what happened, right, Bob?
Yep.
He beat him with a hurt hand. Did you know that, people? That's the complete truth because I just made it up.
I was taking it all in.
He took it all in. He's going to use that excuse in his next fight. Or a fist in his butt.
Out of bounds.
It still has something to do with a fist, right? Crawford fans are all crying right now because Canelo's like, payday, you don't get no payday now, man. You don't get no payday. Canelo is getting the fucking drug truck ready, but Crawford missed out. The drug truck has left. Canelo don't want to use those drugs. He don't need those drugs for Crawford, people. He doesn't. He could beat this guy one hand tied behind his ginger back. Right? Bob?
Josh is saying that Krabum fangirls are coping so hard, saying he won 8-4 and that he beat down Madrimov because he marked him up a little.
Yeah, I mean, they always do that, right?
Yeah.
That was Crawford getting shot. Sorry about that. That was a little harsh. That was a little harsh. This episode of Futv, and by Futv I mean Fu Sports, on the real Futv, has been brought to you by Deontay Wilder.
When you have a relationship with a man, you know, when you love a man, you know, with another man, although he's thousands of miles away from where I am, you know, when you see things like that, man, you want to come. They don't understand, man. Y'all don't fucking understand what we go through, man. And I don't even know him like that. But I always be an advocate for us because I wanted to look sexy and feel sexy. I taste sexy as well.
Yes, Crawford. We all know you taste sexy. What do you think about that, Bob?
I think he probably does not.
What the fuck was that? He's got to be the first fighter in history to say he tastes sexy. He has to be. Outside of Crawford. But he says it in private. This gay joke's gone a little too far, I think.
I mean, it's come full circle.
It is. It has. It's all right, people. It's all right. We get it. We get it, Eminem. All right, let's get this crying Crawford fanboy the fuck out of here. All right, so we're thinking of who's Crawford going to fight next. Is it going to be a rematch? Does he even deserve a rematch? This is what I'm saying. I don't even believe that he deserves a fucking rematch.
I think that unless Madrimov is ready, able, and willing to face the loaded gloves but knock him out, there's no point. Because if it goes to a decision, it will go to Crawford. We have established that. We have demonstrated that. Period. So unless Madrimov is certain he can actually clinch the KO, no point.
Yeah.
There's just no point.
I think Madrimov really should not fight him. I think he should make him wait a little bit. Tell him he's going to take a little bit of a breather and let him, basically, just wait him out just a little bit. Let's see what Crawford does, because I have a feeling Crawford's not going to want to fight anybody if it isn't Canelo. And this fight is stewing. I think this rematch is going to build up, hopefully. I don't think they want this rematch to happen. And this is why they created those fake scorecards, because they know this guy lost, and what they do is they create the false narrative, the media, and they make it where there's no draws on there. Of course, you're not even going to give this fucking guy a draw. Even though he won, you can't even give him a draw. Why? Because then that creates the narrative that there doesn't need to be one, right? And the people are stupid. Most people don't know how to score boxing fights. All they see is Crawford wiggling his hips, sticking his tongue out, landing a couple of shoe shines and a couple of decent shots, and they give him the whole fight.
It's the Mayweather methodology. Fight as cheaply as possible, engage in shenanigans in the ring, and somehow bamboozle your way to victory, and then claim that because you have managed to strategically avoid literally any fight that is of actual risk to you, claim that you are the greatest of all time.
Yes. I mean, he's another fake legend. This is what they do to us. They're creating all these fake legends. These guys don't even have to work for it. The media just gives it to them. Yep. All right, so we're gonna watch Bernard Hopkins talk about this supposed super fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford. Let's hear what B Hop has to say. Usually I think he's a very good speaker. He may be punchy, but he knows boxing very well. Let's see this.
Crawford, Canelo. Back to Canelo. Would you rather see him fight Terrence Crawford or Benavidez?
We talking about Terrence. Who?
Well, the casual fan, they don't care about weight classes. They just know the names: Crawford, Canelo. They want to see it.
Crawford cares about his life, and with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo? Fighting Crawford, and Crawford beats Canelo. What do that do for Canelo? I just think that there are so many other fights to make that's realistic and makes sense, and less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys our weight. And now you want me to do something. Canelo's not coming down to 60.
No. It's Crawford who wants it. He wants the chance to prove it. He's the best.
I get
of
it.
this era.
I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy does not want to prove that he's the best. If he wanted to prove he was the best, he would have been doing a lot better in his career than he's been doing, bro. He's been cherry picking his whole fucking career. This guy has never wanted to prove who the best is. He's always tried to. He's always just tried to get the biggest fight with the lowest risk for the most money. That's what he's always done.
Methodology.
Yeah, so this whole idea of, he just wants to prove he's the best, that's bullshit. Because if he wanted, and I said this before, 3 streams ago, if he wanted to prove who's better at 168, he would fight the guy that Canelo was ducking, who's David Benavidez, and everybody knows that. So if Crawford was, but actually in a lot of ways, that would help Canelo. Because if he was to beat, Crawford was to beat him, which is impossible. That would never happen. David Benavidez.
I don't know, man.
David
Turkey
Benavidez. No, that would never happen. David Benavidez, even as a big man, is far better than Crawford will ever be. His punch selection, he has way more weapons. If you shrunk that guy down, he would still beat the fuck out of Terrence Crawford.
Broski, none of that fucking matters.
I get it. But the point is that he's not taking the big risk. He's trying to catch Canelo while Canelo's declining. And I think even this declined Canelo would beat the shit out of Crawford. So, and also, it's just for a big payday. People are for the payday.
But it'll be kind of funny to see juiced up fighter versus juiced up fighter plus loaded
gloves.
gloves.
You know how juiced up Crawford would have to get to fight Canelo? He would have to be on the whole fucking stack. And they have to give him every snack they have. You know that? He'd become like Bane. He would barely even be able to, he wouldn't even be able to fucking move his arms anymore, probably. That'd be insane.
His forehead would grow three sizes.
He got this giant melon head. Everyone be like, yo, he's just big, man. He's just strong. How did you do it, Crawford? And
he
Crawford
would look like Timothy Bradley.
I ate whole chickens every day.
Like his whole
he
voice
would literally turn into Timothy Bradley.
He got like this big ass. He probably got like a big ass brow line. Like he just looked like Tim Bradley. Yeah, his head be way bigger than Tim's probably. Damn, he's gonna have to push it to the limit, people. He'd have to push it. You see that guy had blood on his fucking shirt? You saw that? Yep. Is that blood?
It's either blood or ketchup.
Crawford's gonna have to push the fucking PEDs to the limit.
And then he's gonna mysteriously drop dead of a heart attack like Boston Boyd.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna
be like, oh my god, natural causes. Okay.
This is what Canelo's saying to a Crawford fight.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
That's what he's saying. He just wants that big money. Because really, even if he beats, not if, he's gonna beat him, people. Canelo's gonna beat the living fuck out of Crawford. That's what'll happen in that fight.
So we've got Josh in the comments saying Virgil. Oh, so wait, I'm gonna go in order. Thunderdome says it's about to get much worse with Booty Ennis. Then Josh says Virgil.
Booty Anus, man. He'll always be Booty Anus to me.
Virgil beats the brakes off Crawbum if Crawbum doesn't have his magical gloves. And then Josh says, I think Ryan versus Crawbum is 50-50.
Oh, I told people that. I told people that Ryan could actually lay Crawford out. I think he could lay him out. No joke. I think that kid could beat him. People thought that was a joke.
He needs to stop being a jackass first, though.
Yeah, you got to stop being a piece of trash. That kid's that left hand he has there is fucking ridiculous. All you got to do is, come on, man. Yeah,
Thunderdome is saying that Bud is just eating what he wants now. And by eating what he wants, we mean
snacks,
steroids.
All the snacks he wants.
All the steroids.
But he's always been eating what he wants. And it's so weird. How does he getting all this special treatment?
You know what we should do if he actually gets the Canelo fight?
What?
We should start doing a photo a day of his face. Just so we can watch the brow line increase,
we can watch the growth,
the jaw increase, the hair recede.
Yeah, it'd be like those nature movies or those nature things where there's what do you call that? Where they show the grass growing and all that shit.
Yeah, the timeline shot or the time series shot.
Yeah, exactly. His head by the end, he's gonna look like Rich Piana. He's gonna look like you guys know Rich Piana is. This is what he's gonna look like.
Oh, Rich Piana was so fun. I'm so sad he's dead. He was great.
Yeah, that sucks. Is Crawford really gonna go for it? Is that what he's gonna do?
Not only is there a man in his cabinet, but the man is a midget.
Thunderdome is saying that Bud is going to turn into the Black Rogan.
All right, people. So if Bud Crawford was to go for it and to go all the way up to 168, I think Terrence Crawford's going to work. He's going to end up worse than Jean-Claude Van Damme's buddy. And it's going to have to be David Benavidez to come back and beat that guy for his shidoshi. He does it for his shidoshi. Is that how they say it, Bob? Shidoshi?
I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say.
He does it for his shidoshi. He does. Where the fuck is that clip?
I don't know.
Give me 1 second. I'm going for it, people. Okay. There you go. You got it, people. Just imagine that Asian guy is Canelo. Crawford just wants a payday, people. He's not going for greatness. So this reporter's just being a fucking. He's just either he's being a noob or a fucking liar. And you can. What's funny is you can hear the nervousness in his voice because B-Hop's looking a hole through him. He's like, "Are you fucking retarded?" Like, you know how frustrated he is by this? He's like, why? He knows that this fucking guy's just going for a payday. And you think, I would love to interview this guy. You know that? I would ask B-Hop, what the fuck do you think about this guy's gloves ripping like this? And B-Hop would be like, he'd be like, no comment.
Do you know what I would like to see? What fight I would really love to see?
What?
Joe Rogan versus Alex Jones.
I'd love to see a Joe Rogan versus Gary Coleman. That would have been a super fight, but it never happened. Coleman passed away before what's his name? Gary Coleman, is that his name? You know, the kid from Different Strokes, that old show. That would have been a super fight, but we never got to see it, people. Isn't that sad that we never got to see that? Are you guys sad about that? That was one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. Right next to the Hogan Family.
What celebrity death match would you guys like to see?
I don't know. I've heard. I'm gonna go find you guys an image. They've actually discovered what Terrence Crawford has under his gloves. I'm gonna show it to you in a second. But while we're waiting, we're gonna watch B-Hop talk with this incredibly beautiful teeth.
Oh, Rogan versus Eddie Bravo would actually be funny.
Those teeth are extremely white, but with a massive gap. You know, in Africa, they find that gap in the teeth incredibly attractive, right, Bob?
You know, we're not in Africa right now.
Okay.
And again, that's one of what's happening on a shakeup of the New World Order.
The New World Order?
You got fighters that's really 54 at best.
You want to know something crazy about B-Hop? He's like extremely, they say, people say based, right? B-Hop actually called out the whole virus thing. You know that? He called it he pointed out the whole thing.
You're participating
and now
in
he's
wrong
up,
speak foo.
But he's said the New World Order many times. It's really odd. It's really odd.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right.
And and again, that's one of what's happening on the shakeup of the New World Order.
Sorry,
you got fighters that's really
sorry about that.
Of the New World Order, where you got fighters that's really 54 at best, wanting to take on a Canelo who can actually fight a cruiserweight and maybe give a cruiserweight, especially at this moment, all the hell they can want. If you can't hurt a guy like Canelo, and you don't have height and depth to be able to at least have something to work with, then we're going to see another, what they say, boring fight, and I say a smart fight. I understand the money grab.
There you go. He understands the money grab, just like I
It's all
said.
about
He
that
knows.
payday.
That's just obvious. It's not for legacy. It's for money. He has no shot in fucking hell. Again, if you shrunk Canelo down, Canelo would still beat the fuck out of Crawford because he's never been great. He just has magical power. He has a decent lead right hand and magical power to many different fighters that he drained. He's one of the biggest scams in boxing history.
Understands about the bag. Crawford ain't 26. Another major network is saying they packing their bags up. You're gonna see a lot of desperate moves jumping off. You're gonna see a lot of very unrealistic, unorthodox, crazy thinking, crazy gossip about what fighter should fight what fighter. That doesn't make sense. But it only makes sense if you don't have nowhere else to go, and you start.
All right, we're going to go back to B-Hop rambling in a second. We've actually found the wraps that Crawford has under his gloves. And we're going to be showing them right now, people. You're going to be shocked by these. When I found these, when I was sent these actually by our underground people, our reporters from the underground. Right, Bob?
Our undercover team.
Yeah, our undercover team has brought this to my attention. This is some creepy shit, man. It's creepy shit. Here it is right here, people. Those are the wraps that Crawford had under his gloves. People, what do you think about them apples?
That would explain why the gloves exploded.
Joe Rogan has to say, "Whoa, this fucking sexy, man. Look at that. Whoa. Whoa." All right. Do the people, they believe this? This shit is real. This shit is fucking real. No Diddy. No Diddy. Those are the raps, people. Those are the fucking raps. Oh, man. Those are the fucking raps. I'm not even kidding, people. That's not even a joke. That's not a joke. All right? All right, so this episode of Futv, and by Futv, I mean Food Sports, on Futv, the greatest channel. The real Futv, actually. The real Futv. It's been brought to you by a couple of different products that we just keep showing over and over again. I'm gonna get some more sponsors. I don't care what people say. All right, so it's been brought to you by the Hug Team. This hug's for you. Floyd Mayweather's Hug Team was one of our first sponsors on this show. Yes, it was. What do you think about that sponsorship? I remember you were really excited about that, right, Bob?
I do not like Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, you don't like him?
I do not.
I mean, you're gonna fuck us up real bad. We're not gonna get that sponsorship anymore.
I don't care. The only person he ever beat convincingly was his girlfriend.
That's true. And piss. Get out of here, Diddy. Marquez's new sports drink. It ain't too new now. We've been advertising it for about a month now, I think. It's Boots Ennis and Shakur Stevenson's favorite drink. Also, I've heard Crawford likes it too. He thinks
BDA is sorry to cut off your ad spot. BDA is requesting the Showbiz clip again. He even said please.
The Showbiz clip. All right, so remember to drink in the morning. Have yourself a nice tall glass of piss. He says it's filled with B vitamins.
P vitamins.
P vitamins, yeah. Yeah, you guys know this. We know about Tim Bradley's auto repair. We're going to show that clip in a second. People, no one knows better about the drama that car brings outside of Tim Bradley, who's been totally race baited for so many years. I mean, he's got this big job on ESPN. He gets to just race bait the fuck out of everybody. That's Tim Bradley's auto repair. He's such a good guy. He really is, right, Tim? He's a good guy. Those, you see all those cops? They're going to arrest him. He became friends with them after. I mean, they pulled him over while being, I guess, kind of dark. It's kind of dark, actually, right? They pulled him over for that. Why would you pull someone over for being brown, Bob?
You wouldn't.
Wait, are you kidding me?
I'm not.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't agree with that at all. All right. Okay, so we got a request from a clip we've been sent here by National Geographic. Now I'm going to show you another piece of information. Give me 1 second. There's one other thing I have to show you guys before we set up this clip. Give me one moment. All right. 1 second. Where the fuck did I put these clips, huh, Bob? I have a lot of clips here, people. It's really crazy.
I think we've watched most of them.
Yeah, we did. We watched a lot of them. All right, there's some they've recently discovered this creature that lives in the mountains in Austria. National Geographic sent us this clip. It's actually a bit creepy, people. It really is. It's kind of weird that it has that Jason music in there. It has that fucking Jason music in there. That's a bit creepy there, Showbiz. No Diddy. All right. No Diddy. I have another clip to show you guys. Not this one of Showbiz having a, I don't know.
Having some sort of like psychiatric break.
Oh, wait, there's Mortal Kombat, everybody. Yes. All right. That there is going to be used for our next play-by-play, which is going to be Manny Pacquiao versus Marquez. We're also doing a what's the other one? We're going to do some other replay. Rescore, not replay. Rescore. We have another one. I forgot the other one we're doing. Well, I'll tell you later. Anyway. What is it, Bob?
I'm trying to encourage him to put out an actual schedule.
Yeah,
that
I will.
Might be
I
a
actually
useful
have
idea.
in the past, but my schedule's so fucked up that it's like I put out a schedule, I have all this stuff set up, and then it just doesn't happen. A lot of times I have to cancel shows. All right.
Manifest your destiny, Fu. I believe in you.
All right, so here we're going to listen to just a little bit more of B-Hop. We're going to be getting out of here soon, people. Thank you for joining us, but we're going to watch some more shit, and then we're going to leave.
On a voyage this evening.
People, we already know that Terrence Crawford lost his fucking fight. Now, if I can go and analyze the entire fight, I do it. But the thing is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a compilation. I'm going to put a bunch of the moments in the fight together of both fighters. But even that doesn't really explain the whole fight. You really got to watch our full play-by-play, and I'll kind of tell you in there. We did a full play-by-play of this entire, well, the majority of the fights on the card. If you guys want to get a more detailed idea of what we thought of these fights, we basically call out every single punch. All right. And maybe we weren't that super generous for the Crawford fight when it comes to the scoring. But, I mean, there was a competitive fight where Crawford lost the majority of the rounds. It's that simple. It's pretty easy.
Start reaching for straws. And then it would die down. Gossip is not going to happen. I guarantee you it's not going to happen.
Canelo and Crawford, you mean?
It's not going to happen.
It's just gossip, you're saying?
Yeah. It's not going to happen.
What about the fight that would make sense, that Canelo and Benavidez? Do you think Canelo would still beat Benavidez based on what you saw?
Well, that fight makes sense whether because of the weight difference. That fight makes sense because of the threat that's so close in those two styles.
So, yes, that is the real fight. That's the fight any real boxing fan wants to watch. They want to watch the fucking Benavidez Canelo fight. They don't. Who the fuck wants to watch this Bud Crawford thing out of his butt boys? I mean, really. They're shoehorning it, people. They're like forcing us to think this fight means something. Like, they're forcing people to think that's a super fight. Like, what is this? Why do they keep these false narratives? Are just fucking disgusting. Really. It is just...
I mean, if the last 4 years have shown us anything, people will quite literally believe whatever you tell them to believe.
Yeah,
I mean, if they repeat that particular lie often enough, you will have people frothing at the mouth for a Canelo Crawford showdown.
Yes. I mean, people are just retarded. Just got to say it. I'm going to check how long we've been on. We've been on for how long? We've been on for 3 hours. We're going to be getting out of here soon, people, but I have to show you guys this clip. We found a Showbiz's cousin on another planet. No disrespect here, Showbiz. It's all in fun, man. It's all in effing fun, bro.
I mean, it's a little disrespectful.
Nah, it's not disrespectful.
It's just a skosh.
It's all right. It's all right. That is definitely not the way that sounds in the movie. They definitely don't sound like that. Here's the clip. All right, so there you go. There's showbiz.
Found him.
That's what that reminds me of. This is Killer 7. That game's actually kind of awesome.
Maybe you could play it on FU Gaming.
I have. I played a little bit of it on the PC. It is. The first video of it is on the real Futv, people. All right, so you've been watching Fu Sports. All right. We're going to be getting out of here, people. We want to thank you all for joining us. We think Crawford's full of shit, and he just lost.
And it's pumpkin time.
And he did not want to be honest and just, give him his credit. And I guess he sort of did give him his credit after the fight. Both fighters shook hands. But, I mean, Crawford, who knows what happened with those gloves? Who knows? But they did meet each other after the fight. I can show that before we get out of here. They met each other, and they kind of shook hands. See if I can find that. Okay, so here it is. It's kind of a bad way to end it because it puts Crawford in a positive light, and I hate doing that.
I mean, I don't think it does. I think that if he had not had a bunch of cameras in front of him, he probably would have snubbed the guy.
Maybe. That's true. It probably was a photo op. So we could still tear him apart and act like he's an asshole, which he is. I mean, you got to be a piece of shit to hit guys with fucking loaded gloves, people. You got to. That's beyond a piece of shit right there. Crawford, you're trash. All right, so this is that meeting after the fight.
And yeah, it's a photo op.
Yes, it's a photo op, people. It's a bunch of bullshit. Probably trying to set up for the rematch, maybe. Who knows? Metro Mob getting fucking robbed. Crawford trying to act like the bigger, nicer guy. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe
and look, Crawford is quite literally the bigger guy.
He is bigger. You can definitely see he's bigger. Any comments before we get out of here, Bob?
Thunderdome is saying Kruger stacked raps. BDA is thanking you for playing that clip. And Skull Kid is giving you laughy faces.
Oh, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be coming back real soon. Got to do it as much as possible. I'm
Please,
trying to
also endorse the idea that he should put out a schedule.
I get rusty, people, when I don't do this. It's kind of hard. Yeah, it's different, people. It's different. It's kind of hard. No Diddy.
That's not what you were hoping
That's
to
definitely
pull up.
not diddling. You imagine diddling with that? Diddling?
I mean, there is an entire genre of literature called monster fuckers, so I think people do actually imagine diddling with that.
Somebody should do porno with those gloves.
Thunderdome is saying, great stream. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for hanging out with us this evening.
No Diddy, people. Oh, no. Diddy's growing.
Or if your boots in his yes, Diddy.
Go! Remember that Power Rangers, Bob?
No.
Remember that? Diddy looks a little bit down, doesn't he? He looks a little bit like
He
Ellie
looks
Setback.
like Adam
Just kidding.
Sandler.
I like Ellie Setback.
Diddy
don't talk
is
trash
a
about
brown Adam Sandler.
it. He does look like Adam Sandler. You're right.
That's my conspiracy theory for the day.
He's related to him, isn't he?
You're welcome.
All right. That's a bit sad. That's a bit sad to me. That makes me cry a little bit inside.
BDA is saying don't do anything you don't want to do.
What'd you say?
BDA is saying don't do anything you don't want to do. He is countermanding my request for a schedule. How dare you, sir?
Oh, yeah, I could do a schedule. I've done it. Like I said, I've done it before. I've done it. Things just don't work out the same.
Amazingly, you turned into a turkey.
Yeah, I get it, people. It is what it is. We're gonna be getting the F out of here because,
Kang,
you know.
Thought you was gonna help out my brother. You lazy.
Look, it's Drake.
L-A-Z-Y, lazy.
What? What in the world is this? He looks ridiculous. Is he supposed to be scary? That balaclava is not on correctly,
right?
sir.
I want some money for this.
Life is such a sweet insanity. The more you learn, the less you know. In the heart of every family, there's a love that starts by letting go. Step by step, day by day, reaching out along the way. Hand in hand, we face our fears together through the years. We get closer through happiness and tears.
the world is this bullshit that you
Damn,
got
that was a
on?
lot of fucking catch up on that, dude.
Yeah.
That's from that movie Menace to Society. I don't know why I showed that, but I thought I would show it. It's very violent. Like the gore is through the roof. Right? This
That's
guy.
stupid.
What?
It's hoodlum nerddom.
It's like, it's weird because people are really into that. They got very into Scarface. A lot of people got into Scarface. Scarface is actually a good gangster movie. I mean, you really can't do better than that much. I mean, there are some much better ones, but still, it's one of the better ones, I guess. What do you think of that, Bob? I'm about to get out of here, people. I just had to show you that. I don't know why. I that's kind of a negative, kind of a negative to go out on. I really don't want to do that. I kind of don't. What do you think?
Well, I don't know why you did it then.
Yeah, I don't know why I did it. That was fucked up. That was really fucked up. That guy got shot. I played the Hogan family theme. You know?
But sometimes the world just doesn't turn out how we want it to. You know you've said goodbye like 6 times.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not done. I got now it's bad luck. I have to go out on a good note. All right, people, I'm going to find a clip that I think you're going to enjoy. This is a good clip. It's a good clip. You guys may have never seen this. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you something really important. What is this?
It's hang lower, not is bigger.
Oh, all right. All right. There we go, people. We got a clip over here. I don't know if you guys ever seen this. This is, let me see. All right, people. This is very relevant to the Terrence Crawford situation of getting a robbery win. It really was a robbery, people. This guy's going to tell us all about it.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Today I'm going to talk about, do steroids make your balls shrink? Well, the answer is yes, they do. But let me throw this at you. Is that really a bad fucking thing? I don't know. Let's break this shit down. I got Kirsten here. I got a question for you. So, visually and aesthetically, looking at, would you prefer to see a dick hanging lower than the balls or fucking balls hanging lower than the dick?
Dick hang lower than the balls.
Of course.
That's a deep voice.
The dick hang lower than the balls. The dick hang.
She sounds like Cartman.
She does.
I
She
like
sounds like she's on a stack herself.
Oh, she definitely is. I like how he tries to turn something that's very negative into a positive. That's really impressive. That's an amazing amount of delusion.
Of course, you would rather see a dick hang lower than the balls.
Should be called 95% delusion.
Yeah.
Because it's like 5% nutrition.
Now, some guys are blessed and have big fucking dicks, and some guys are fucked and have little motherfucking dicks. So, the guys that have balls that hang down lower than their dick, I would think they would want their fucking balls to shrink. Because honestly, having balls hanging down below your dick is not the best look. And it only makes your dick look even smaller than it is. So, you just heard it from a hot girl, and I guarantee you every fucking girl out there is gonna say the same fucking thing. They'd rather see the dick hanging lower than the balls. So, and anyway, I mean, honestly.
Do you think he was saying that to Boston
Lloyd? Do you guys
Lloyd?
think that girls are...
What?
This whole like thing about small penises.
No.
Didn't Boston Lloyd have like
he
a
admitted
really
his
small
balls
penis?
had shrunk. This guy, his name is obvious. You can see it's Rich Piana. He was actually real. I thought he was pretty
He
funny.
was so funny. I'm so sad he's
he
dead.
did tons of steroids, and his balls definitely shrunk, people. Just like Crawford, right, Crawford? His balls shrunk. He's trying to make a negative into a positive.
Or he could take the Greg Valentino route.
What?
Steroids are as American as apple pie.
Yeah, exactly.
Balls, I mean, I fucking hope not. I mean, let me ask you another question. So, when you see a pair of hairy, saggy, wrinkled, shriveled up, fucking ball sack hanging between a guy's legs, does that shit turn you on?
Not at all.
Not at all. Do you know any girls out there that get turned on by a fucking pair of balls? No. Okay, so having the balls shrink maybe 20 to 30% is probably a good fucking...
30%? That's a lot of shrinkage.
30% less testicle.
30% less testicles. He would have to have some massive testicles for that to not be tiny. Right? Almost 50% of your testicle. I mean, how big are testicles? I mean, they're not the size of apples. This is a weird conversation.
If they are, you really need to go see a doctor.
This is a weird thing to go on, but it's also funny.
Thing. In fact, not probably. It is a good fucking thing.
It's a good thing that your nut shrunk and you can't have children now. He forgot that part. Part.
And you're gonna go through osteoporosis.
He's like, it's a good thing that you're now reliant on testosterone for the rest of your life.
Joe Rogan.
It's a good thing that you have massive depression because your fucking testosterone levels are in the tank. Right? Those balls, it made the dick look bigger because the balls are smaller. Rich Piana, master of delusion.
Life advice.
What?
Life advice with Rich. It should be noted that his steroid use actually killed him not terribly long after this clip. So, I mean, maybe don't listen to him. Take everything he says with,
you definitely shouldn't probably listen to him, but he could make you, I mean, if you've got buyer's remorse, he's the perfect guy to listen to when it comes to steroid usage, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Your fucking dick looks. So, I'm just telling you, I tell shit how the fuck it is. And my opinion is, I would rather have my balls shrink 20 to 30%, and my balls have shrunk 20 to 30%, so my dick looks even bigger. Balls have shrunk 20 to 30%, and my balls have shrunk 20 to 30%.
That look on her face, she looked almost like kind of disgusted by him. Damn, you see her side profile? She looks, I don't know, she must take, she
looks like a chipmunk.
She does. You know what it is? She probably takes loads of steroids, and it's like, it makes her cheeks are getting muscular as well. She's chewing really crunchy stuff, maybe.
Balls have shrunk 20 to 30%, so my dick looks even bigger than it did. So, what the fuck is the problem here? Right? Balls shrinking is a good fucking thing. So, again, Rich Piana is fucking telling you straight up, and I know everyone's like, fuck. I never thought of it that way. Never thought of it that way. Well, there you go. So, taking a little steroids, having your balls fucking shrink up a little bit is a good fucking thing. But I'm not telling you to take steroids. I don't recommend steroids. Stay natural. Don't go down that fucking road. It's not the most, glamorous road.
Yeah, but like Rich, why would I not? I mean, I want to make my shrink my balls. It makes your dick look bigger. Sorry. It's kind of gross, huh, Bob?
I think you've lost your mind. The heat is getting to you.
Is that gross? Is that kind of gross, isn't it?
A bit.
He's giving people
It's
good
a bit
advice.
uncouth.
Just take loads of steroids, people. Just loads of it.
You're going to have problems. Anything that has a positive is going to have a negative. But, I don't know, man. If your balls ain't lowered than your fucking dick, maybe you better take some fucking steroids. Anyway, guys, that's it on this subject.
All right, people, I think we pushed this shit to the limit.
Craziest,
We pushed this to the limit. They got Rich Piana on Comedy Central, really? That's interesting. All right, once again, for the 1,000th time, people, we want to thank you all for joining us, and we'll be back real soon. We'll probably be back tomorrow. I guess I'll be back tomorrow. We pushed this shit to the limit. It's not shit, people. It's amazing. It's Futv, the greatest channel known to man. It really is. It really fucking is. Everybody knows it. It really is a KO. All right, stop the KO. Stop that shit. All right, Bob, in closing, you got anything to say before we get the F out of here for the 13th time?
We all know what we saw.
We know that bitch lost. He fucking lost. And I'll
Fuck 'em.
scream it till you can't take it anymore. I'll scream you down, motherfucker. I'll scream you down.
Just remember, last time you did that, you had no voice for the following day, so maybe, pace yourself.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Maybe, instead of screaming, just a moderately elevated tone would be sufficient.
All right, so at the end of the day, Crawford lost his big payday, and he really should rematch this guy, but I don't think he should rematch him. I think this guy, Israel, should just say, go fuck yourself, first of all. Second, I beat your dumbass. And if you want to have another fight, since you can't get any other fights, but I think they're going to line him up with something. I think Madrimov should wait and fight the winner of whoever Crawford's going to fight next. It'd either be a Crawford rematch or the winner of Crawford versus whoever. But I have a feeling Crawford's just going to do another cherry pick. And he's almost done, people. 37 years old, cherry picked his whole career. And his whole run, first guy he ever fought that I think actually was drained. He still was drained, I think. If I showed it in the stream. I think the guy had some kind of rehydration thing going on.
B-Hop Crawford is not.
And he still took Crawford to boxing school, people. 10 pro fights. See you guys later, people. We all know that Crawford just wants the payday. You want payday? I know that. That's what he wants, people. That's what he wants. Right, Canelo, right? Right, Canelo? Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. This guy's a fucking genius. See you later, everybody.
Good night.
Have a good night.
You think you'll be time? You're gonna fucking die! Big time! Great ass! Great ass! Hey, You think you're big time?
Well, what about it? Yeah, well, the word is word is.
To be the best is the master plan. Go on with all you got, give it your best shot. Don't ever think about trying to stop. Keep reaching, pushing, hoping for perfection. Make up your direction. Don't ever stop for a moment. Prove you want it. If you got it, flaunt it, and get up on it. Go for yours, not for a minute, but all the time. You better do it 'cause I'm going for mine.
I'm gonna fuck you.
Get yourself together. Keep engaged, man. I don't care. Go for what you want. No hold back, 'cause I know you got the knack. Not only is there a man in his cabinet, but the man is a legend. Great ass!